Alright, there we go. Okay, cool. Just did the introduction. All for nothing. Let's try again. Welcome everybody to the Epohers World Cup 2 Grand Finals. Best of 7, MarineLorD against VortiX. Yeah, I don't know why the OBS studio did reset my audio settings for my microphone. I'm not sure why that wasn't working, so um, apologize on my end. We're starting off very hot here on the stream. But hopefully we have cleared all the technical issues already and we can hop into a very, how do I say that? This grand final has been teased for a little bit because we had 3 different attempts to actually play it out last Saturday, then, no, on Sunday, then it was on Monday, and then on Tuesday, I believe. And then we just postponed it because there were too many server issues to reliably the play the best of 7. So yeah, hopefully this time it'll work just fine. Könnt ihr bitte Deutsch sprechen? Well, this is an English stream, unfortunately, so I mean we can technically speak German, but we're gonna not do that. Unfortunately, not this time. I'm very sorry, Datus or Datus 3000. But good to have you. Good to have you here. Yeah, let's, fingers crossed. Today should be working just fine. Both players have entered their game already, so we can hop in there just momentarily in a few minutes. Because of observer delay and all that kind of stuff. But that gives me the time to already make sure that we have everything set up. As you can see on the screen, I mean, for once you see, I'm solo here for the time being. Death Jackal should be joining me at some point, or Askelat. You never know what's gonna happen. Rising Empires is always, a fun bag. So maybe we'll have a co-cast at some point, maybe not. I have no idea. But we also have the draft, and on MarineLorD side, I mean, the one thing obviously popping out immediately to me is the Mongols. But more importantly, Sengoku Daimyo has not been banned for VortiX, and so he was actually able to pick it. So he always has Sengoku up his sleeve, as kind of like a joker, you could say. Macedonian is also very strong. And then for Gorge, he was choosing either Golden Horde or French. So two very strong civilizations on Gorge. MarineLorD on the other side, of course, also has a lot of strong civilizations with the Byzantines, the Malians, Juicy's Legacy, especially on hybrid maps like Holy Island, can be very, very strong. Knights Templar would also be very strong on Holy Island. Chinese also really good. And then here we have the Ayyubids on Gorge. The other option he had, since it's a snipe system that they use, would have been Chinese. So first matchup gonna be on Gorge French versus Ayyubids. And for those wondering, so they already played a couple games, and the last score was 2-1 for MarineLorD, but because of the server issues, all of the hiccups there, some very brutal delays and spikes for both players. The organizers decided that it's not really worth it to continue it at that point, and they just did a full redraft as well. So a new draft, and gonna start off with just a blank sheet here. So neither player has any points at the moment, starting off with 0, best of 7. So potentially, gonna have a very fun series here at hand. And Gorge is a good way to start it off, I would say. So 1.5 more minutes to go, and then we can hop in. And so with the Epohers World Cup finals, the first place would get $1,000, and second place would be 500. So that's a lot of money on the line here. Big stakes being fought over here right now, and I'm really curious to see who will come out ahead here. MarineLorD, I would say, of course, is kind of the favorite right now, but at the same time, VortiX is really strong. He has played a very, very good series here in the tournament, winning against Scatterbrain with 3-0, against B with 3-1, and then he also played 3-2 against Numodan, won against Beastie in 4-1 in the semifinals, best of 7. And so he definitely is a hot contender here um, against MarineLorD, and so yeah, definitely not necessarily an underdog, if you will. So good. Yeah, nothing here in Discord. Everything going according to plan. And yes, yeah, it was a complete reset on the series because of the server issues. There were a couple of remakes as well, and just crashes. And it's always bad to kind of start on that point. So the organizers decided to, you know what, let's just do it a fresh best of 7 finals with the good service. Hopefully, we'll be able to have a good series then. And that was the decision, and I totally understand that decision, and I think it was the right decision as well. So I'm really happy to have just a fresh start here in this series. So it does make sense, and it does seem fair for either player, and I'm sure they've also been asked about their opinion on that as well. So they probably also agreed on that. And with that, let's just hop into it. We can see the game now on the screen. Beautiful. MarineLorD playing the Ayyubids in pink. On the left side of Gorge. Opening, of course, with the mill on the berries, and then immediately going on relatively heavily on gold, actually. And then we're on the other side, of course, VortiX with the French in yellow. Yeah, doing the standard opening here with the mill early wheelbarrow, and then moving into gold. Probably is gonna rally up to 4. That would be the most up-to-date build for that. And MarineLorD also, yeah, that's what I was wondering. He's also moving into the wheelbarrow immediately. That's why he has so many on gold right now. Of course, paying the full price for that. So, paying 200 resources in total. On the other side, VortiX not even paying, what is that, 125? Not even. So, very, very cheap wheelbarrow then, of course. So both players opening with a wheelbarrow. Very interesting to see that. Let's toggle the sheep counter here. MarineLorD choosing to take the left route. Finding a bunch of sheep here, and now just moving his way back to the other side. VortiX kind of went to the middle and then around here on the opponent's side, trying to see where is the gold already. I mean, on the right side there's not really anything. So yeah, there's nothing really that he can raid. At the same time, all the resources, gold, stone, and food, the berries, is on the left side. There's even a deer pack here, so if MarineLorD wants to have anything going outside that berry patch here on the right side, that would be a good point for VortiX to attack him. So we're gonna see. French usually likes to play it aggressively, of course. How he is going to manage just that. And yeah, as I suspected, 4 on gold, then up to 10, 11 on food. Now moving into the School of Cavalry. On the other side, we're also getting kind of close to the Feudal Age as well. And what is MarineLorD going to open with? I mean, obviously the logistics wing is really, really nice for Ayyubids against French, and that's what he's going to choose as well, getting the 2 dervishes here. And that would enable him, at least until there's a couple knights, to just basically chill on the gold. Doesn't even need to have a tower there, and can just get all the gold that he needs, potentially moving into the fast castle pretty much naked with the dervish. So yeah, overall very, very standard stuff. Maybe outside of the Ayyubids wheelbarrow, I'm not sure if that has hit the meta at the moment. But it overall is very, very nice, giving you the additional move speed and then of course the carry capacity, so making your villagers a lot more efficient. And the difference is, I did some testing on that as well recently because I was curious. If you open with a wheelbarrow or if you don't open with a wheelbarrow, in the first 10 minutes the eco difference, the resource difference is about 400 resources, plus the cost of the wheelbarrow on top of that. So it actually is very, very valuable to do that. Of course, most civs don't really want to do that because you prioritize the feudal age more. But if you're just thinking about the raw resource gathering, that it definitely is worth it for pretty much every civ. VortiX already pretty like relatively heavily on wood right now, so he'll probably want to get some additional stables on the way, potentially also moving into the archers if he suspects the desert raiders. And he of course also is able to see just what wing MarineLorD is going to choose. So yeah, he knows what's coming. Obviously, he also sees the berries have been depleted partly already. And yeah, we have the dervish hitting the field, and yeah, just splitting it up, one on the berries and one of the gold just to be safe. First knight coming in, but that shouldn't really find too much damage here. Yeah, basically getting healed up pretty fast already if you have the two dervish in one place. The healing is very strong. Believe it will get nerfed in the next patch. I'm not 100% sure if I remember correctly, but I believe it will be nerfed slightly. So will be a little bit different here, but for now, Scout actually doing a lot of damage on VortiX's Scout, so he needs to be a little bit careful here. Second knight arrives, but MarineLorD already has the 600 gold that he needs, can pull away all the villages and now move into food, and will be in Castle Age really quickly. So very solid timing, and again, like even with the wheelbarrow on top of that, has a very solid timing with the resources. Pre-6.5 minutes having all the resources that you need for the Castle Age, and there is the reinforcement wing, so he's gonna get the desert raiders. And yeah, thanks Patrick for also pointing it out in chat, the changes here, so it's gonna be yeah, slightly different. A little bit of a nerf, I feel that is very deserved. It's still gonna be very valuable, right? I mean, a lot of times people think that just because something gets nerfed, it's not, you know, gonna be worth it to play it anymore. That I would say in this case is definitely not the case. So it's still gonna be valuable, it's just gonna be less oppressive. But regardless, for now we still have the, you know, what we're used to. And MarineLorD opening with the stable, of course, also for the desert raiders to get the upgrades and to produce some additional ones. Also, the really nice thing about Ayyubids is with the stable, and there's the second one as well, you can go for both the desert raiders and for the camel lancers from the stables, because the desert raider can be produced from the archer range but also from the stable, since it is a, you know, it's both a ranged unit but also a cavalry unit. And yeah, but also a ranged melee cavalry unit, so I guess that's why it is also part of the stable. But yeah, so really strong comp, of course, against French with the camel lancers and the desert raiders. And I'm curious to see what VortiX is going to do about that. Is he going to do mass archers? Is he going for ARPs? Is he going to Castle Age himself? It doesn't look like it, that's for sure. So for now, gonna prioritize the feudal all-in still with 8 knights at the moment, as the military wing is almost finished already with, yeah, 8:20 timing. Very nice. Good snipe here on the scout, but the knights are moving in regardless, now seeing a little bit less as the oh, that is a brutal timing with the desert raiders. That is not good. That is not what you want to see. No villagers getting killed, losing probably 4 knights at this point. Yeah, just getting another knight snipe. This should go down as well. So losing, yeah, I think that was 4 knights here. At least 3 knights. Yeah, brutal timing here for VortiX. Unfortunately, being right on top of, or the rather the Desert Raiders being right on top of the Knights. And even though, of course, they're still feudal age, they did a tremendous amount of damage. Also with the town center, no villager kill at all. So you're losing 3 Knights, getting no villager kill at all. That definitely already puts VortiX a little bit behind. Okay, let's double check. What is he doing at home? He is on the deer, has survival techniques, of course, as well. So his food eco is fine for the moment. Also has a very much, very strong eco right now. A lot stronger than MarineLorD's is right now. And MarineLorD, since he's not on gold, he cannot get the upgrades for the Desert Raiders at the moment. So yeah, should just get, as soon as he has the relics, basically he'll have some gold income, but until then that shouldn't, will not happen. Another raid attempt, but again, we're kind of blindsided without a scout, so VortiX hasn't remade a scout, even though he has 3 stables, so he could do that relatively easily. But yeah, we can see he doesn't see anything, unfortunately. Another VortiX attempt here, as we have this double flank here, but another knight also going down, and now we're in the woodland, but not prioritizing the villagers, actually killing a Desert Raider. That is kind of nice, but we're already up to 9 Desert Raiders here for MarineLorD. And yeah, mosque is about to be built, and then we put a couple of relics in there, and then the gold income will be kind of stable. Another knight going down. MarineLorD doing an excellent job with the Desert Raiders, and again, they're just feudal age, they're not even castle age yet, but they're just so good. Especially against, of course, against knights, because of the extra damage against cavalry if they go into melee form, and then if you run away, kind of like the Ridari can still shoot at you from the distance. So yeah, very strong unit. Of course, it does cost gold, so yeah, MarineLorD, if he wants to get these numbers up, and if he wants to get the upgrade, he really needs to get back on gold. But for now, just grabbing the relics, and should feel very comfortable in this game right now. Didn't take a lot of damage, a little bit of idle time, of course, but killed a bunch of knights for that. I would say definitely worth it. And yeah, again, like now grabbing the relics, there's the second one. How are the other ones looking? We have 2 more here on the right side. Kind of interesting spawn here around the sacred side. And then of course one on MarineLorD's side, but since MarineLorD isn't, oh no, not MarineLorD, on VortiX side rather. But since VortiX is not going for castle age, MarineLorD should be able to grab even that. One dervish lost his life, another one is in queue right now. And yeah, we do have the Desert Raider upgrade coming in. So yeah, all in all, very comfortable position for MarineLorD. A little wall here. Of course, you can go past this here. It's not like an H2 where this actually would be a complete wall. But it's kind of, you know, annoying to go around here. You can't just pass one unit one by one. And so this is still a very good defense, even though it doesn't technically, you know, fully block it off. And what does MarineLorD see? He doesn't really see a whole lot outside his base, but that shouldn't be an issue. He'll be fine. I mean, as I said, at his food equal. Oh, we're looking. Okay, he's starting with farms. Has depleted all the sheep that he has. Is a little bit on the berries, but now MarineLorD, VortiX rather, comes back with a lot of archers in the mix now, and they're doing okay against the Desert Raiders, but at the same time they're already castle age, so yeah, would still be an uphill battle here for VortiX. He needs to keep up the pressure. If he lets off the steam, MarineLorD might run away with the game, and he doesn't want to let that happen. We do have a couple villager kills from MarineLorD actually, so killing the villagers that were here on the deer, and is now just moving out again, just moving back from that. Can he find that? I mean, he does know that there's that deer over here, so he knows that he can attack there. But right now, yeah, just needs to run and not lose. loses units there. So yeah, basically the one issue that MarineLorD might have is food, because yeah, that's the barriers that he needs to secure. Then he has a little bit left here, but yeah, 230, and then he has a deer pack over here, which is really nice, but it's also kind of outside, and it is on the same side where his gold is at, so VortiX will keep the pressure up here as well. So as long as MarineLorD doesn't run out of food, I don't see how he is in a bad position here at all. Doesn't have any camel lancers at the moment, so he might wanna, at least I would add them, you know, to be fair, but right now should be fine still with the Desert Raiders. They're comparably squishy, you know, compared to the camel lancers, but at the same time with the camel unease, doing a number on those knights. And you know, keep in mind these are all fuel age units, so any hit that MarineLorD does here really hurts VortiX pretty heavily. Yeah, the boar is also kind of nice here on the left side, but yeah, as Ayyubids, you know, you can't really utilize that at all, so that is out of the picture. And overall, I mean, this fight, to be honest, doesn't look too bad for VortiX, all things considered, but at the same time, he's still feudal age. He has a lot of gold stacked up now, but he's kind of running out of food a little bit here. And so, you know, all things considered, MarineLorD, if he can keep the numbers low, he has the age advantage, he has the tech advantage. Doesn't have any military upgrades though, so he could move into those as well. So yeah, considerably better fight for VortiX in this situation. So kind of feeling justified to keep up the strategy that he has, also with the idle time here. That is also very valuable, and he knows that food is the one thing that MarineLorD is lacking. MarineLorD does have a market, so he can trade if he needs to, but overall, like, look at the numbers. I mean, the knights, there's like, yeah, you have a knight falling here and there, but so do the Desert Raiders. And all things considered, the numbers are pretty equal, and this is, you know, that is, how many is that? It's like 20 villager idle right now, and they're not on food, they're not gathering right now. MarineLorD actually bleeding right now, and oof. This definitely wasn't a bad fight from VortiX at all. MarineLorD now needs to abandon that position, but that means 5 dead villagers as well. That is a very good fight for VortiX all of a sudden. And how's MarineLorD doing? Okay, so his woodline is almost running out, so he can clear the lumber camps. He has a little bit of space over here, but not enough to do like a full-on farm transition. Then he has that small woodline over here, and then he needs to move out on the map. You know, that is Gorge. You have a few resources in your base, and then you need to expand on the map. That's just how it is. One camel lancer here in the mix as well. And then, yeah, of course, a couple more here in the back. But, yeah, food income, 300 something per minute. That is awful. That is really not what you want to see. And VortiX on the other side, I mean, this knight is just healing up, and then he will patrol the berries here, so he should be fine. He got the gold income under control, now has a lot on food as well, so just double the resources per minute right now, at least when it comes to food. So he can keep up the pressure. He has, yeah, army value almost double right now. And if he can break that army, I mean, the main issue right now I would say is the camel lancers, because they're of course really strong, and the archers don't do anything against them really. But if you can get them down somehow, then MarineLorD is really in trouble right now. More and more units coming in, 40 archers, so the Desert Raiders definitely are not an issue, but the Camel Lancers are. And the knights do okay against them, but yeah, it's just feudal age knights, so that is definitely not the greatest here right now. The camel lancers standing strong, and yeah, VortiX needs to run here. Did lose a lot of knights. Can he do some equal damage as well? Not really right now. Yeah, so this is the moment where you can see how it shifts from having like winnable fights against the age advantage, attack advantage with the camel lancers. Pretty solid, not necessarily a counter against the knights, but definitely a strong debuff against them. And then the archers, even though you have 40 of them, you don't even do anything. So we're looking at 6 ranged armor, and he has 6. Yeah, that's 1 damage. That's literally just 1 damage per archer. They have, wait, let me double check. They have 210 health. So it will be, yeah, 5 to 6 volleys, and then you can kill one camel lancer. Alright. I did see that message as well, thank you. Alright, so as I'm here, you know, production in the back, we do have a co-caster ready to hop on. We'll do that for the next game. I don't expect this game to go much longer. Either side will tap out once they lose their army, and it's just a question of who is gonna lose their army first. MarineLorD now on the bears on the left, so he's trying to get as much food value as possible, also on the deer on the right. But once that runs out, I'm not sure if he can continue. At the same time, VortiX, yeah, definitely doubling down on the feudal age. And I mean, I suppose by now you kind of need to do that. If you go into castle age, it just takes too much time and resources, which potentially gives your opponent way too much time to, you know, recover from the game. And with 12, now 13 villager kills, VortiX did a number on MarineLorD's eco as well, so he just needs to kind of hold this position. Can he hold it though? There's still a bunch of camel lancers, 10 in total. I mean, they're not all here, but there's still 7 camel lancers here. Going down to 6, should be able to snipe that once. That's probably 5. But numbers are still standing for VortiX. So I mean, overall, plus, I mean, how we're looking in relics. We have 3 relics on MarineLorD's side, you know, so quote-unquote only 3 relics. He didn't grab the 2-1 on the sacred side on the right. He didn't grab the relics at the sacred sides as well. So that could have been a little bit more gold income. So now the food income is really great, but the gold income actually is really terrible because VortiX is not letting off that gold here. I mean, MarineLorD now can go on that big gold here, so that's gonna be really nice for him. But other than that, nice little find here on the left side. Should be one. Yeah, there you go. 1 villager kill as well. A little bit of idle time as well. So, you know, all small things matter in these kind of games. Yeah, VortiX now doing the right choice. You know, it's kind of weird sometimes to, or at least it feels weird. But where is it, by the way? There you go. There's the barracks. So yeah, he's going into Spearman because Spearman is the only thing that can reliably counter the camel lancers at the moment. And we're up to 14 at this time, so he really needs to have a good counter against that. The knights again, like doing considerably well against them, but there's just few legions, so it is still a pretty uphill battle. doing a good job here with sniping the low health lancers with the archers. Now villagers on the run, killing some more villagers as well. We're up to 17 villager kills. These should get away though, but yeah, now more and more lancers coming in. I mean, they're pretty low health, so I mean, should be able with still 25 archers to do some damage on them as well if you could snipe out the low health ones. VortiX is gonna lose all the knights that he has here, but at least he's doing a lot of damage on the lancers as well. More units trickling in. Now the spearmen actually arriving fairly shortly. So yeah, should be able to save the archers actually. Yeah, but down, yeah, knights number is down. We just have a handful of knights left here. Raid attempt here by the camel lancer. Do we have spearmen nearby here? I'm not sure. We have a knight here that we could pull, but would lose in a straight up 1v1 fight against that lancer for sure. Yeah, I mean, both players, I mean, now we're getting into the phase where the food resources on the map, they're getting depleted. VortiX doing a solid farm transition here on the left. His wood line here is basically gone completely. Needs to get that lancer under control, and then he can start to push again, but MarineLorD has the benefit. He can just switch into Desert Raiders and then he'll be fine against the Spearmen as well, so his comp doesn't require any additional buildings, any additional techs or whatever. He can just do Camel Lancers and Desert Raiders and he'll be fine. VortiX now again on the berries. There's nothing here, no villager kills, but at least he knows that this will then be gone as well. Now trying to build up a wall here on that side to, yeah, to kind of secure him at least. That's an interesting wall choice, however. Yeah, let's double check here. MarineLorD also with the farm transition. There's a handful of farms over here, and then of course around the town center. But other than that, we don't really have any farms for MarineLorD. So yeah, his food income is kind of struggling, and he had the issue, you know, he had to switch all the time. He had to run on gold, and then he had to run back on gold on food. Now he needs to run on wood, so his wood income is through the roof right now, and he just, yeah. VortiX doesn't give him any time to just stabilize and yeah, just keep doing what he wants to do. But at the same time, MarineLorD found some valuable raids here on the farms now. 20 villager kills. So he again is up in villagers, probably for the first time in the game. VortiX now trying to get a wall here on the left side of the map, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's just a palisade wall. They're gonna get buffed as well, by the way, next patch. But other than that, for now, they still have the regular 1,250 health, and so the Camel Lancers should be able to get through them very, very quickly. Yeah, now with the heal again, the archers do basically nothing to those Desert Raiders, unfortunately. 0 health veteran Desert Raider, as you'd love to see it. So the ghost unit here. And VortiX still trying to save these villagers, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. He has nowhere to run here, unfortunately. Yeah, that is rough. I'm not sure if I wouldn't call it a throw necessarily. It's just that at the end of the day, you cannot really hold on forever if you're an age behind. And that is true for any age. I mean, it's the same if your opponent is an imp, if you're a castle age still. You can do it for a couple of minutes, you can do it for a couple of fights, but at some point you're gonna have an issue. And so it was just, when do you make that transition? Now VortiX looks to go into castle age, kind of. But I mean, we're already 29 minutes into the game. I don't think that Castle will save him at this point. Yeah, villagers have been cleaned up here in the corner. 34 villager kills, so VortiX now on 62 villagers. This is the point where, I mean, he needs to go castle. Now he's going up with the guild hall, 20 villagers on that thing. But he also kind of would need to have a second TC at this point because he's behind in villagers. I mean, even though French produces villagers faster, that's still a rough position to be in. Yeah, 4 relics by now, and this is gonna be it. GG getting called in his first game. VortiX did a great job here in the early game pressure and just keeping up for most of the mid game. But unfortunately, yeah, we're just taking a look at the villager count. Doing good raids here, but eventually MarineLorD was able to stabilize, to hold on, and then to also do a lot of damage. In military count, yeah. VortiX, of course, being ahead in most of the game, but it was, yeah, half of that was trash units. And then slowly but surely MarineLorD, clawed himself back into the game. How do we look in here anyway? Yeah, that was a lot of units killed. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, good. I do hear that we do have a go-caster. I'm not sure who is gonna join us. Def Jackal, I believe.
Hello, Miss.
Alright.
Sorry for my delay.
No worries, friendo. Okay, I did send the camera. Did you? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, you're all good there.
Okay, let's put that in. Let's do some kind of live production changes here.
Live production. Yes, unfortunately, alarms only work if you actually set them. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the issue is, right? I mean for you it's like, what is it, like 8 in the morning, 9?
It was 7 in the morning when we were starting the cast here. So.
Yeah.
It's a little bit early for a Sunday, but
Yeah.
all things we do for love of the game, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, let's update the score here. MarineLorD winning the first game. They should already be in the second one, I believe. Let's take a look. Byzantines against the Golden Horde. Alrighty. Not bad. Byzantines.
What map are they on? Do we know?
Well, I didn't see the draft here, so I would suppose we're gonna find out as soon as I hop into that. TC Rose, I'm not gonna entertain you. Forget that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna send you a short invite here, and then we're gonna find out about the map. I mean, we can kind of guess. Can we guess? I mean, it's Golden Horde and Sengoku was on one side, and MarineLorD playing Malians or Byzantines.
I would assume like Lipany or Dry Radio or something like that. Mostly based off the Byzantine pick here.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
I mean, Cascade, you could just ask, does MarineLorD ever lose? That's, a reasonable question as well. Not just does he ever lose on Ayyubids.
By the way, you were right. It is on Lipany, so we're gonna see that. They're in for a few minutes already, so we can hop into that right away.
All right.
Wait, you did join my group, right? I'm not sure.
Yes, I did join the group. We're coming in.
Okay, good.
You had the heart attack there for a second, didn't you?
Yeah, it's always bad when you have all that loading time and then you have to go out again, resend an invite that already expired, and yeah. I mean, I look at the last game. I feel vindicated. The other day I was playing against a mate, and he was playing Ayyubids, and I was playing French, and I lost pretty hard. Even though before I had never lost against him, so that was kind of like, okay. So yeah,
The magic.
feel vindicated.
I mean, you really felt the power of the camels there watching that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's that time where VortiX had what 50 pop worth of knights and archers, and they kind of got stalled out indefinitely by like 5 lancers,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I also think it's kind of broken that we have like you can go from for the Desert Raiders from the stables as well as the archer range. I mean, imagine the outcry if you could produce Mangodai or horse archers from both the stable and the archer range. I mean, rightfully so. You know, it's like, why do we have like 2 different production buildings for that? So you basically need just one and you have everything. So that's almost as bad as the Varangian war camps from the Macedonians. So yeah, I
the
think
one
that's all.
thing in defense of that is Desert Raiders are, I think, the worst horse archer, right?
Yeah, yeah, that is true. But I mean, they're very versatile, so I think that also makes up
They are
for it.
versatile.
And then of course, like, it's not only about their like raw hitting power; it's also with the camel and ease and things like that. So yeah. But yeah, you're right. Probably the worst ones. I mean, as I'm saying that, probably Mangoda is worse than the Desert Raiders at this point, right?
Yeah, I guess they have been nerfed into the ground.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, okay, enough of that. We might see Mongols at some point in the draft, but not right now. We're starting with MarineLorD on the Byzantines. 3 on stone, so he wants to get the cisterns as quickly as possible. VortiX on the other side playing the Golden Horde.
2 or 3 cisterns here? Or do you think he's going to go full 5 right off the start?
Well, we've also seen like the 2TC Byzantine play, which might be even more of a thing next patch, because the TCs also will get a slight debuff, not debuff, discount, 300 stone instead of the 350, and so maybe we're gonna see a lot of 2TC Byzantines next patch, I'm not sure. So I think he will definitely go for 3 for now, and then he'll kind of decide whether he wants to go 2TC or whether he wants to go for the full 5, which, yeah, I mean, it is a nice, you know, it's like, we're talking about the difference between 18 and 26%, so that is notable, for sure, but at the same time, it's not necessarily the end of the world, right? I mean, if you're looking at, like, which sisters are the most important ones, the first one would be the most important, because that's 10% already. You know, that's the biggest increase that you would get.
This Lipany spawn is pretty defensive, right? There's a lot of like the way the wall spawned or the cliff spawned. It's very easy for MarineLorD to wall off his sections to grab a ton of resources, right? Like if we're cutting, you know, small wall can save him, grab him deers and berries, and just like you can, you know, run little walls all over the place to just defend yourself. A little bit harder on VortiX's side, but I think VortiX here is probably going to view himself as the aggressor and the one who has to try and make something happen on the map.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we already have like a small notion of that with the Golden Tent being so much forward next to the Uvu. Then we have Khan and Torguts being the H-up wing for VortiX, so he's gonna have the increased Khan and Torguts, but also with a little bit more health. So yeah, he definitely wants to be aggressive on the map, so I'm not sure, like he probably isn't too concerned about walling. At the same time, he has a gold on the right side, you can put a wall down there, and then Deer Pack in the front left, which there's also a couple of woodlands here, so I guess you can also kind of wall that in if he wants to, so, you know, not the worst. MarineLorD, as he's aging up with 2 villagers, pulling off the stone completely. And
yeah, he's got enough for his 4th cistern. So it looks like he's going to go with 4 cisterns as his build here.
Yeah, and I mean also the thing is, of course, the Byzantines also get stone with each building that they construct. And so for like a you know, like a house, for example, that would be 8 stone already. And so with the landmark you also get, I think it's like 18. I'm not sure how much it was. I forgot about that. So You'll
Yeah,
also
it's a
get a little bit
percentage of how
stone
much
here
the
there.
building costs. But it's gonna be a while before he gets his 120 stone for another cistern, plus the aqueducts required.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean level 4 cistern, that's already pretty good. The berries here, we haven't talked about them really. They're in the back really nicely. So again, like with the walls, you can, you know, just put a wall up here around the market if you want to, and then one in the front, and then the berries will be safe. So it doesn't even need to have a
And on the
tower
right,
there. Really nice.
we see something a little bit spicy. We see a proxy barracks from VortiX. Oh, sorry, proxy archery range. And that just completed here.
That is interesting. I mean, why not? Why not?
That is going to protect like all the next food sources, or at least a good portion of them, and potentially get into the berries there. You can sneak guys around the top. Is he going to turn into a tower rush?
I mean, he does have the villager here already. He might as well try. He doesn't. Yeah, now he has enough
Takes a,
wood as well.
It takes a long time to build the Golden Horde towers. They've got more health, but they take up more actual space, and yeah, just take a long time to build. So it'd be a bit surprising to tower rush, but that villager's there for a reason.
I mean, you know, the funny thing is, it actually doesn't even take longer than a regular tower, so it does cost more.
It feels like forever when you're building
forever,
like I need the tower.
But I mean, so does like tower rushing in general. It feels like forever. But yeah, the archers is a nice touch against the limited A, and now villager needs to be saved. There's a horseman on the field here as well, going on top of the archers. So now, for now at least, the villager is kind of almost being ignored here. Funnily enough.
He doesn't quite have anything to catch up with it in speed, right? He wants to use the horsemen to do it, but the horsemen are busy fighting off the Khan and Torgoods. Kind of like, actually, we should check. Yeah, he is going heavier and using all of his stone towards Torgoods. One of the things that historically, when I was learning to play Golden Horde, was one of their powers, or most powerful abilities is the triple production tech. But with the more recent bug of triple production, where they can't, you know, it would only apply to buildings that exist when the triple production happens. You do have to shift your strategy a little bit and figure out a better use for your early stone. And having it on Khans and Torgoods is a good way to have some map control.
Yeah, and I mean the Torgoods are really tanky. I'm pretty sure they're the most tanky fuel edge unit that you can get like anywhere in the game.
Yeah, they're amazingly tanky. They protect your Khan. They have somewhat low damage, so expect them to be more like horsemen rather than knights when you're picking up villagers. But they've got so much health and enough armor in the feudal age there to really make it difficult.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean outposts here being constructed, and with all the free stone, free stone here from the Byzantines already, with the fortification coming in and with the arrow slits as well. So that is
if the
really,
Torgoods
really
can
nice.
burn this down before the outpost fortification happens, that's a huge thing. But I don't think they'll be able to.
No.
This is gonna pop, and we're gonna see VortiX run away.
Yeah, immediately just okay. That's not worth it. I mean, that is just too much health. Then you have all the villagers nearby. They can hop in. They can repair. You have limited nade you have to deal with. He doesn't have the numbers.
It also gets fire armor, right? Like.
I believe so. Yeah, it does.
So
it does
the extra 5 fire armor really helps a ton against your normal 13 torches and damage from torches and feudal.
Yeah, so basically, like, if he wants to get that down, he would have to probably invest into RAM, but that is another 400 resources that he would have to spend, which is not spending on army. As for the contracts here, we have the javelin thrower, so not the longbow contract, but the javs instead, which does make sense, of course, against the archers. Longbows are also fine, but not technically a counter against the archers.
I mean, this is more important is the castle age, getting the camel riders so you can have camel and ease if this does turn into a cavalry game. As we know, it's people on Reddit have been calling it the age of cavalry a lot of times recently. And yeah, having the camels as a aura to put into your forces can really help win those cavalry fights.
By the way, I just checked the trade post here. We could also have Chugunu or the War Elephant later on. If you know, that would be quite funny to see. I think one of the strongest that you can get is actually the Royal Knights, because they also, once you get into Imperial Age, with the Foreign Engineering Company, they also get the Royal Bloodlines, but also the regular Bloodlines. So they are 388 health in total, which is 24 more health than the French would actually have.
I've also seen Sipahi have a great effect early from those.
Yeah, Sipahi is also a strong one. That's true.
So, where does VortiX go from here? I mean, MarineLorD's got a big enough, spiky enough force that it doesn't seem like VortiX can really break in. MarineLorD also has a couple of horsemen that he's been sending out to raid. Committing your forward production like this is kind of challenging. We can poke and prod with Torgoods and Khan, but MarineLorD's kind of entrenched here. I have a hard time seeing where we're going to get damage going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, another thing, as you mentioned, the forward production, VortiX kind of has to stay around that, because if he's not careful, MarineLorD is just gonna move in with 20 limited, burn down the fortified outpost with ease, and then he's gonna kill the production here. So that would be, what is that, like 500 resources worth of damage that he would be able to do that. And he's actually moving in with the limited as we speak. So if VortiX isn't paying attention, he's gonna lose all that, and that is gonna be really annoying.
And it looks like he's conceding the position here.
Yeah, not sure if he wants to move in here. I mean, that's a lot of units, and he can't really get to the limited with the archers because the javelin throwers are in the front.
Yeah, there's a huge javelin mass that he can't do much about.
I mean, he doesn't really have a counter to that, right? I mean, the Torgoods, they're not countering that technically, so I mean, of course, they're doing okay damage against that, but that should be a good fight here for MarineLorD with all the limited and with the jab throws in the back sniping down the archers. And it just,
I guess Spearman plus Karash is kind of a counter, but yeah, this is not a great fight.
Yeah, with the Karash, that really is a game changer. So, yeah, VortiX has a hard time to kill anything here, really. I mean, outside of the horsemen, of course.
He has been able to keep enough of this archer mass alive to be able to pick off the spearmen, but the spearmen isn't the valuable component of this army. It's that javelin mass at the back that was pretty much completely untouched by that. So yes, they traded spearmen effectively, but I think MarineLorD kind of got a slight advantage in that, where he picked off a lot of the archers and still preserved his power unit of the javelins.
And still
he didn't get his objective, but yeah, he's he didn't get his objective of burning down that tower, but I think he's still fine with it. It's easy to replace spearmen.
Yeah, no, that's very true. If you can preserve the mercenary units, but you lose a couple of your spearmen, that's totally fine. I mean, at the same time, the destroyed value is very, very even on both players. So, all things considered, I mean, I also would agree that it was a slightly favored fight for MarineLorD, in part because of the mercenaries. But VortiX was holding it a little bit better than I expected, actually.
Yeah, that's true. It did look very scary when he initially fell back from that position for VortiX. But yeah, he was able to salvage it. And we see him aging up now here. So if he could go into something like, I kind of hate to say it, but men-at-arms spammed out from this barracks at the front, that would be really obnoxious to deal with, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean the men-at-arms also are gonna get a notable buff overall for all civilizations next patch, being slightly cheaper, and so it kind of looks like the devs want us to go a little bit away from the all calf meta into a more spearman men-at-arm kind of based comp. So. But yeah, to your point, I mean, even now with the Muscovy Yasek, with the extra armor that you get, and then of course with the Karash also being a buff for your units, Man at Arms would be pretty good. And MarineLorD in Feudal Age as the Byzantines, you don't have any counters, like any hard counters against against Man at Arms, so that could be rough. At the same time, he also is very close to the Feudal Age, to the Castle Age. So MarineLorD not too far behind, so as the age up comes through for VortiX, he should be able to also move into the castle age.
Depends on where MarineLorD puts down. Okay, he's got the Golden Horde over by the deer, so that should be able to get up. And what is... VortiX immediately slams down with his age up the upgrades, so that makes a lot of sense. Torgrids also get their upgrade for free, and they get the plus bonus ranged armor, so they've got 8 ranged armor right now, which yeah, even javelins are plinking at 1, so that's that's a lot of ranged armor. Yeah, both people have kind of got their farm transition going. Both have the similar sized army, both have aged up now.
Yeah, I mean now we just have a slight tech advantage for the time being for VortiX, now also getting the veterancy here for the archers, but yeah, MarineLorD is pretty close behind getting the limited upgrades. The Jeff throws are Castle Age already, so all things considered very even. VortiX slight army value advantage, but that also comes down to how you're going to be able to use it.
And now we've got an engagement here. A lot of jumping back and forth. You see here, one of the micro skills that you have to learn if you're playing with javelins is, unlike every other civ, you have to lead with your archers, because they've got extended range and they got the first pick of damage, and then you kind of use your spearmen as a back there.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why using jabs effectively is not always that easy. You know, speaking from experience. But yeah, MarineLorD obviously doing a good job here.
He's switched into 2 more stables, so he just wants to keep with this kind of knight, quote-unquote knight, archer comp with Kashyyyks. But I don't know how well that's going to actually do here. He does have a pretty big mass of cavalry, though. And those spears are all busy burning down a tower, so he could get some real damage here.
Yeah, I mean that is a lot of cash, but at the same time there's still a couple of limited Nehe in the woodline. MarineLorD reacting to that, building a camp on the right side.
Good. He's got enough forces to be able to push through and kill this. He's picking up a good chunk of javelins. No villager kills, but there are a bunch. All of them are idle.
Yeah, now he's also getting the villager kills. 4 villager kills and can move back with almost all of the cash, it seems like, so didn't really lose a whole lot there.
No, that was a really good timing. He saw that the army was at the tower. He hasn't burnt down the production buildings though, so I guess he needed them back to check against the rest of the cavalry here. Now we see VortiX kind of with 3 forces running around. One, his big massive archers, and then 2 different Kashyyyk raiding parties. The rest of those are going down now.
Well, yeah, 2 more archers going out there just before it gets burned down. So that's you know, taking like the last moment to most value out of possible.
Yeah. To have the fear. how are relics going? We're moving into like a more stable mid game here.
Yeah, both players have
We
one
see-
relic.
Yeah, first gold mine's down for MarineLorD, but he's been able to expand up.
And now the camel riders, as you mentioned earlier, on the field here as well. And I mean, yeah, with the camel, you know, debuff, the camel on the ease, that is really, really strong. And just super annoying, of course, for the Kashik. I mean, losing, you know, bunch of damage here. How much is that damage?
Keep jumping around looking for which monk has the relics. There's always just monks just running all over the place with no relics.
Yeah, I mean, the one relic that had been picked up, that is it for now for either player. VortiX now taking the sacred side, so the run on the left and one on the right already being taken. And VortiX has a big, you know, cav number here on the left. He wants to find some damage potentially on the wood line. There's not really any resources that he can kill here at this point. But yeah, I mean, burning down the aqueducts here is always very valuable, of course.
Yeah. Burning down an aqueduct, burning down, you know, whatever he can, getting some health back in those Keshiks. Where are the relics?
Well, oh, I suppose, is that? No, wait, never mind. No, he didn't convert them. So VortiX didn't convert them into.
Oh, he doesn't have that tech.
Yeah, so he has one in the prayer tent. That's the relic that he has. Do we really have only 2 relics on the field? That can't be possible.
That's what it looks like.
Is that a bug? I mean, that's weird.
Yeah, I didn't look beforehand, but yeah, it definitely feels bugged here.
I mean, at least it is kind of fair, I suppose.
At least it's equal. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, as Byzantines, if you want to put them into the Grand Winery to get some oil income instead of the gold, that is really valuable. For Golden Horde, you can convert them into Uwus, get some additional stone production. So that is also very valuable. So either player would love to have a couple more relics. But
yeah, it's a bit surprising how this played out here. And MarineLorD's done a really job, as I mentioned when we kind of started this map. It's very easy for a lot of these little short walls to secure a big portion of the map, and with that he secured his extra gold, 2 extra food sources, and prevented backline raids. So yeah, very good defensive position. And here we've got a big engagement. VortiX with the population lead. We'll see how well this Camel and Lees does against all these Kashiks.
I mean, this is kind of like a choke point here. So really hard right now to get for the cavalry to really get on top of, you know, for example, the jab throwers. Spearman against Spearman right now, and then it just splits off to the left side. The gold miners, they're not phased by that at all. They're just chilling. They're like,
look, you gotta get that gold in to get the next guy to save you.
You know, you gotta like garrisoning in this economy. Are you crazy?
Yeah. But this looks like VortiX is just gonna push it through. Keshiks plus Torguds plus Karashes means that it's been really hard for, like, everything's so tanky here.
Yeah.
Right? They've got 1 extra armor because of the Karashes. And his archers were, it looked mostly untouched.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is crazy. Let's look at the armor here. That is kind of like, you know, late game Macedonian level here with the +5. And that is one thing I noticed with, you know, when playing against Golden Horde, is like once they hit Castle Age and they get the Karash and all the upgrades going and stuff, they will not die. It is crazy. So, yeah, well played by VortiX, you know.
Great game by VortiX. He took control of the map really early. I mean, MarineLorD had a really difficult spawn for VortiX to get early damage in. He did what he could. He was kind of annoying and noxious, but it took a long time for there to be any villager kills. He got the quick age up though, and then was able to use the Golden Horde's like double production tech or ability. I don't know if it's really attack, but
Mm.
Golden Horde just produces things faster if you look at a large enough time scale.
Mm-hmm.
And we found a large enough time scale that he was able to just double produce faster than MarineLorD could produce normally with his mercenaries, and then take a climatic battle.
Yeah. Pretty good battle here for sure, and yeah, Byzantines didn't really have a good response there. I'm not. I mean, maybe you kind of need to have like a second, backline with crossbows. Maybe that will be the answer. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I think on MarineLord's side, one, I think he just underestimated how much population in Army VortiX had.
hmm
Um, and I do think you're right. If he would have had some more crossbows to try and pick off um, some of the Kashyyyks a bit easier, but also it's odd, he didn't have anything to counter the Karashes.
hmm
I mean, Karash is normally a very weak unit,
hmm
but having 8 of them mixed in the army there just, again, makes your entire army tankier.
yeah.
And javelins are really bad at picking off stuff like spearmen. Their attack speed
hmm
is so slow.
Yeah, and then of course they also don't do bonus damage against the spearmen,
They
so
don't
they
do
have a
bonus
high,
damage. Yep.
relatively high damage, but not really doing any bonus damage there. So yeah, I have a hard time there, and yeah, the Karash is a weird unit to me. It's like the weakest unit you can think of, but at the same time it's extremely valuable, especially if you just sprinkle it into your army. So yeah,
And
nice touch.
particularly in Castle Age, they've got a tech that, if, as I said before, if we're not using our stone for triple production tech, one of the stone techs that you can get is a Karash upgrade that makes them into mini man-at-arms. Like, it gives them some extra armor, some extra damage. Um, that doesn't scale into the Imperial. It's only something for the Castle Age, but it can give them a specific purpose in the Castle Age.
Mm, yeah. And wait, okay, did you join my group? I already forgot if you did.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Phew. Alrighty. Well, because we can jump right into the next. No, we
Well,
cannot jump
we
right
can
into
jump
it.
right into observer delay.
Right into observer delay. There you go, folks. 2.5, like yeah, a little more than 2 minutes. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at the civs before I knew the map, but it was kind of obvious from the civs that if you see Knights Templar against English, it is most likely gonna be Holy Island. So yeah, gonna play on Holy
We've
Island.
I think we've been seeing a bit more English on these water maps than we historically have. Um, I don't think anything's particularly changed with them, but I think with the ban system, there's clearly some civs that are better than others on water.
mhm.
And English has always been in that tier 2 with their very powerful ranged upgrade, but no eco bonus. So you end up seeing a lot of it here when the tier 1 civs get banned out.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, the other options would have been Juicy's Legacy for MarineLorD and Tughlaq Dynasty for VortiX. And I mean, of course, both also really strong on water. And so I'm not sure. Would I rather play against Knights Templar or Juicy's Legacy on Holy Island? I'm actually not sure about that.
I think you definitely want. I think I would say Knights Templars. Ushi's is just a little bit
hmm
stronger overall,
Yeah.
but that's definitely. It feels like MarineLorD has 2 top tier choices and VortiX has 2 mid tier choices. I might have. I actually might have considered trying to put VortiX onto Tughlaq, even though it might be better on on Holy Island, because that would deny him from using it for Frisian,
hmm
and I don't know what he would have available for Frisian that would be considered a top tier then.
Yeah, that's a solid point. That is true. If you let him have Tughlaq, he doesn't have it for. I mean, then he would probably play Macedonians on Frisian Marshes, or Jeanne D'Arc maybe. So I mean, he still would
Sure,
have options. So
but those aren't. I'm gonna say premium options
yeah.
for. I guess he would have Abbasid for Frisian marches as well as an option.
hmm
But it feels like the difference between Tughlaq and other civs on Frisian is much greater than the difference between Tughlaq and other civs on Holy Island. If that
True.
makes sense.
Yeah. Swap that in game. There you go. And game number 3, VortiX here on the left side in yellow, playing the English. Of course, moving out on wood immediately and also looking for a place to put the dock. MarineLorD on the other side, playing in pink. And then, of course, also moving out to the water.
One thing I do want to call out here is that both of them send their scouts immediately to water. And that's not something you need to do in order to know where the water is. You can, like, you click into the darkness, your pointer will stop. But what they are doing is they're trying to figure out where the deep water fish is, so they can put it as close to their dock as possible to reduce any travel time. And you see that now they both put it, you know, as close to the deep water fish as possible for both harbors.
Yeah, exactly. Very even spawn for both docks, for the harbor and the dock here on each side respectively, being just in the vicinity here in the area of the dock. And yeah, it absolutely makes sense. I mean, yeah, of course, you're kind of losing out like slightly on finding sheep, but at the same time, there's probably gonna be sheep here on the way anyway. But you also maximize what you can get from water then. Plus, if your opponent is gonna do the same, nobody has a disadvantage anyway. So I would definitely advise doing that. I mean, you would hate to have your dock, like, let's say here, right, and then your next, or I don't know, and then your next deep sea fish is like somewhere like out in the boonies. That's always that always feels bad. But I mean, yeah. So what is that shuffle doing here? One notable thing here, of course, is that
Sometimes the first fishing boat out has a little bit of confusion with its pathing.
Yeah, it's the drunken sailor. You know, what shall we do with the drunken sailor? But yeah, so most notably, I mean, of course, dock cost for Knights Templar is 250 wood. Because it's not the regular dock, it's the harbor with some, you know, extra benefits. And so, of course, that already puts MarineLorD behind just slightly. Also have the fishing boat shuffle over here with the second one. So 2 to 3 right now, and VortiX can actually go up with the second dock already. And MarineLorD is gonna take a little bit until he has enough wood. So early game, early on, yeah, usually you have a slight advantage against Knights Templar, but then of course with their super strong wood eco, they usually stabilize very, very quickly.
Such a powerful wood eco.
I mean, also, like, just for the fact you don't have to build like a lumber camp, you don't have to like rebuild that every single time you chop a couple of trees. Stealth forest, you know, straggler trees, all of that is very much more efficient. And so yeah, it's just really nice.
Honestly, something like that is one of the reasons why I've been enjoying French on hybrid maps quite a bit. With the recent upgrade, their docks count as houses. And then the passive ability of the French is the cheaper lumber camps, windmills, or mining camps, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually surprisingly effective to get your first ships out. And you know what? One night does a lot of work to disrupt an opponent's plan when they're expecting to have a mostly water fight.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, with... yeah, that's exactly the reason why I also like to play French. Whenever I'm playing on a hybrid map, I usually pick French. Because it just feels really, really nice. And then you have kind of like the best of both worlds. You have the... like kind of like a water eco bonus, if you will, with the house, the dock being a house, but then you also have the knights later on for the land fights. So on maps like Four Lakes, for example, it's really, really fun to play French. So can just, you know, advise that or recommend that.
But everything seems to be progressing. I mean, pretty much as normal. VortiX has got 3 fishing boat lead, but everyone's still in feudal, or sorry, still in Dark Age. We're just gonna wait for. Oh, speaking of that, Templar just started age up. They both started their age up exact same time.
Yeah, very evenly distributed eco here right now, at least for the early game. Although MarineLorD already has a slight eco advantage in terms of overall resources, and so yeah, and with the Knight's Hospitaller, he's gonna have even more of an eco bonus. I mean, the
it's a nice
villagers.
little arrow, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, there's more to that, especially on water, because that also increases the healing that your units receive by 30%, which also includes the fishing boats. So if they want to heal up the military boats, military ship, which oftentimes happens, that you pull the fishing boats, that also would be more efficiently and more effective. And so that is a really nice commandery choice for the Knights Templar on a hybrid map. And on the other side, Abbey of Kings, not really a surprise here at all with the king. That's gonna be a good angle of fighting on land. Then of course with the healing, that's also gonna be really nice. So no surprise there for me. And both players on on 2 docks.
Yeah. Two things I actually want to call out here. One, MarineLorD was harassing with his scout on the the villager who was building docks, and the villager just turned around and clubbed 5 sheep to death. So
Oh my
that's
goodness.
I mean, that's 1,000 food that if you get pushed off water, you don't have access to later on. So probably doesn't matter, but it is a little bit weird. The other thing is that VortiX is a really nice split of how he's got his fishing ships. He's got kind of 3 on each deep water fish, and he's got a couple on shore. So with the recent upgrades to shore fishing, that's not a disaster anymore. Meanwhile, MarineLorD has like 10 fishing boats onto 1 deep water fish, and you see he's already had to move some off. So if he's not careful, he's going to lose a lot of his food income in the near future as they start going to farther fish.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a really nice split for VortiX, and I mean the thing is, as long as he can hold that position with the sheep, he can even drop that off at the dock, so he doesn't even need to go for any additional mill or whatever. So definitely a nice touch. And then the thing is, even if he doesn't really use it, if you take it away from your opponent, that's still valuable, even if you will never be able to use it either. So good move here for VortiX. Also trying to find some damage with the king here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of king versus horseman skirmishing in the middle here, kind of trying to pick off villagers, kind of pick off scouts. It hasn't really amounted to much so far, other than VortiX putting out some spears, which I'm a little bit surprised by. We see immediate response of barracks. I imagine we're going to get the Knight Hospitaller. I think that is, my French is not as good as it should be. And as a man-at-arms, they'll clear the spear very easily.
I wasn't even sure if that was actually French. I was always under the impression that it's just Knights Hospitaller, but
it is a French variant, right?
it is. But I mean, that's the Chevalier Confrère. That would be the French one. But I'm not sure if the Knights Hospitaller. I mean, wasn't that usually German? I'm not even sure.
I don't know. But we do have some water engagements happening as well. So, as always, we've got to split our focus between land and water. But it seems like more of the focus has been on land, at least right now.
Yeah, it kind of looks like VortiX wants to have more on land than on water, because his focus is a little bit heavier on land right now with the spearmen, and only having 2 galleys on, well actually 2 galleys and then of course 4 springle ships, so as usual I'm just gonna eat my words.
He does have the English tech for increased range. So that is a plus for him, but it does look like MarineLorD has the stronger navy right now. Unfortunately, he gets kited out as the English do. You can just see it here. We've already lost half of Hulk without being able to get a shot back.
Yeah. Well, and then also with how the harbors work, they also give additional health to your boats, so that would and that is quite a chunk. The Hulk, for example, getting 68 health extra, and so that that in combination with the extra the Admiralty, the extra range from the English ships, kind of forces Knights Templar to be a little bit more defensive and to play around the harbors to get that additional health bonus that they get.
Engagement. No, they're just washing volleys, but you did get some chip damage in on the harbor, so you know, a couple more of those and that'll be a concern. Still 2 harbors to 2 docks, so we haven't put out any additional production. But we do see Assel Age from VortiX coming out. White Tower. Where is he putting it? Covering his gold line. And MarineLorD is a long ways away from aging up. This could be real bad for MarineLorD.
I mean, I'm a little bit surprised of that placement. I mean, sure, it also provides you a little bit of space for farms and stuff, so it would be like a mix between securing the gold and securing the farms. But at the same time, I think you could have put it between the 2 golds. And then he could push in the deer pack, and that would be a little bit of food extra that he can have. But I don't know.
I don't know how much is going to truly matter. This gives a little bit of a... you can't quite get back to the wood line there, but
no.
Immediate going for the Springald's crew upgrade, so that would give them +2 range over the MarineLorD Springald's. MarineLorD does have the dock tech upgrade, the defensive upgrade, so he'll get an extra 40 damage from his dock every couple of shots. You can see it chipping away there, but this could be really bad.
Yeah, the range is insane. Just sniping the 2 demo ships, and now again getting some more chip damage in here. So the harbor is already at 1.7 health. Needs to be repaired actually.
Yeah, and MarineLorD's got the curse of the Templar. He can't rush his age up. He's a minute and a half away, plus tech times. He's just gonna lose water here. I don't think he can save it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely an uphill battle here. Might lose the water, losing the villager here as well on the harbor. So VortiX, if he can keep up the pressure, and it kind of looks like he will be able, he should get down at least that 1 harbor, and then MarineLorD will be down to 2 harbors. At the same time, and we also only have 2 docks on VortiX, so kind of surprising. He really saved as many resources as possible to get to the castle age a little bit quicker.
And even Empire finishing now, so Fortresses and docks gain 30% health. So that's a real big boon for this dock that's just being pushed down. Another villager picked off. 2 villager kills by VortiX here, and I think both of them were trying to save that dock.
Yeah.
VortiX knows now that the age up, he doesn't have time to kind of play cat and mouse here like he was before. Pushing it in. Trying to get focus damage onto the dock. Another villager coming out to fix it.
And with the with pushing VortiX back a little bit, gives that villager the time that he needs to repair the harbor. But now again, just look at the range here. It's still on fire, and the villager needs to run again. And I'm not sure if you can actually save that harbor. It kind of looks like this is gonna be it. Yeah, water is... How much do we have other than that? We have 3 galleys here. Springer ships rather, sorry. And 3 more in queue, but... Oh, are we gonna get this 1 out here? Should be, yeah. Okay, 1 more.
The knight managed to work its way into the wood line. Or sorry, the king. On MarineLorD as well, so that's... You know, extra hassle, extra... I think MarineLorD's just lost water fully. I don't think he's gonna be able to defend.
I mean, he's still on 2 docks, so at least, you know, that's... I don't know, something at least. And now he's pushing VortiX on land, but he only has a couple of spearmen.
Yeah, desperation push there, but that's not going to do anything versus the White Tower.
Yeah, the White Tower is really annoying. I mean, it is gonna be, you know, I think like 95% of players will be happy to hear that there's gonna be a slight nerf to the White Tower, having only 15 garrison slots next patch. So, you know...
That's a little bit too late for poor MarineLorD here right now.
True, yeah, I'm just saying, like, we'll all be happy once that happens, and as that happens, the GG also happens.
Yeah.
Crazy game here, really well played by VortiX, with a very, very strong English army on water, and then also with the land aggression and admiralty, yeah, being the last nail in the coffin for MarineLorD here.
It looks like he really did take advantage of, yeah, GG VortiX. I guess that's 2-1 for him now, right?
Yep.
But he really did take advantage of the Knights Templar natural tendency to be slower and more defensive on the water there, right? I think if, naively, if I was playing, I would have been spamming boats, and would have never have even thought about shifting over to make sure I aged up into castle to get the extra range, the extra upgrades, and be able to actually take out those harbors safely. Yeah, really smart, like macro strategic play from VortiX there to kind of know how MarineLorD wanted to play that as a Civ. I think he was kind of fishing for that matchup specifically.
He definitely was fishing, that is for sure, yeah. Speaking of fishing, the next match is gonna be on Frisian Marshes, as we kind of thought from looking at the civs here. Mongols against Abbasid. So yeah, that is quite an interesting matchup. Unfortunately for VortiX, it is kind of strong for Mongols. At least the last few times I've seen Mongols on Frisian Marshes, they won pretty handily.
Yeah, and circling around to some chat questions. This is a full reset from last weekend. Last weekend we had atrocious lag spikes, particularly for VortiX. He was just, I think we tried to play Frisian Marches 3 times, Magnus. His casters, like, it was unable to happen. So, they said it did a full reset, because I think they were only able to get through like 2 games, and then weren't able to reschedule through the week. So, full reset. VortiX ahead 2-1 in the best 7 here, and 4 minutes of observer delay.
Yeah, I mean the rules said the handbook said that they should have a 5-minute observer delay, so you can't really blame them for having for following the rules. But yeah, I mean so how I've seen this matchup being played out, at least from the Mongol side, is you kind of go on water because your opponent cannot really afford that, because otherwise you're just gonna get early barracks and you burn down the dock. So you can go on water, and your opponent is kind of reluctant to do the same, and then you do a little bit of aggression, and then you just spam Kashik, and you run around, burn docks left, right, and center, and you're gonna be a happy camper, get a lot of extra healing, get some damage get some bounty, if you can burn down the docks. So all in all, very, very nice for Mongols. And Abbasid,
Everything you say there makes it sound like VortiX would be on the Mongol side. Aggressive, harassing Kashyyyks, but
yeah,
VortiX has the Abbasids. So yeah, how do you
I
think
know.
the Abbasids are gonna react to that?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like okay, so Abbasid of course also has some kind of water bonus, with the docks being only 75 wood instead of the regular 150. So they generally are good on Frisian marshes for that reason. But I I
One
do
thing that
wonder if we're
can
gonna
go a
see
long way
military
with
wing,
Abbasid.
you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say military wing gives you 2 archers instantly on age up,
Yeah.
so that can be a real strong way to push off some early spearmen.
Yeah, that is
And
exactly right. And I think this has been like the quickest 4 minutes of my life.
yeah, that one zoomed along real fast.
That seemed to go quite fast for some reason. But I mean, I'm
Yeah, we're
not,
not gonna complain.
yeah, I'm not, what's the word? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
upset.
unhappy about that.
Yeah. So we've got Game 4 of our finals of the Epohers World Cup number 2. We have VortiX in the top in yellow with a 2-1 lead over MarineLorD in the pink, and the bottom as the Mongols.
Yeah,
And I don't see an early. I see villagers on wood to start with, but I don't see. Oh, I see. Yeah, one dock going up for VortiX as Ab said. No dock sent out for the Mongols yet. And they're going out right now, actually. So a bit of an early lead to VortiX there, then.
Yeah, again, like VortiX, you know, you only have to pay 75 wood for a dock, and so that is super, super cheap. So you basically have, like, by the time that Mongols has enough wood for, building the Uwu and then also having the dock, you already have a dock and a fishing boat for free, basically.
But back to what you said, Mongols have the ability to burn things down. He immediately canceled his dock once he scouted out MarineLorD's dock and slammed down a barracks on the Uvu.
Yeah, and so already has the 80 stone that he needs for the double production of the spearmen, so he can just burn that down immediately. And he still is a little bit on wood, so maybe we're gonna see a dog eventually, or that is just for the spearmen. You can also kind of follow it up on the tower rush, because that's another thing. So you generally have 2 golds in front of your base on Frisian marshes, and sometimes they're a little bit, further out here in the case of MarineLorD, but sometimes they're kind of close, as it is for VortiX. And so now imagine you have a tower exactly on the berries. You deny the left gold, and then you deny the right gold, and do we have a crash, or what is happening? I mean...
Yeah, I was gonna say, this feels like someone found a map spawn issue.
Huh. I'm not sure which
I can't
that
see
would
it.
have been. Okay, it looks like... No, it kind of looks like VortiX... I mean, it didn't produce villagers for a minute, so I suppose... Huh.
Yeah, it's gotta be a crash there of some sort.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, well that's why your observer delay was
Yeah,
so short.
that explains why. Because as soon as they had to restart that, the server delay was obsolete. So yeah, yeah, great stuff here, Frisian Marshes. As much as you love to play on that map, apparently it is still kind of wonky sometimes. So let's see if they already... I don't see a remake yet.
We'll let Manius dig into that. For those of you somewhat new to the challenge or to the channel, hi, we're Rising Empires. We're helping out Epohers with their World Cup casting here, but normally we run tournaments for everyone who's not the pros. So our main one is every weekend we run Loyal Legends on Saturdays, and that's available to everyone from bronze to gold to platinum to conqueror. We've got separate brackets for everyone, and you always play four games of tournament Age of Empires. So it's a great experience. You get to actually meet people and play against similar people over and over again, rather than the latter. Sometimes it's just pretty random, but here you can, you know, play against Manius sometimes, and see how that goes. Oh, you left the group there.
Okay. Cool.
And then every 2 weeks, so the second and fourth week of each month. So I think we're just about to announce it for May here, but it's going to be next weekend for May, and then two weeks after that. We also do the War Chief Club, which is... Manius, you keep asking me to join your group and then running away.
No, I'm not. I'm not
running
away. I'm clicking on observe match once you're in the group, but then it just says unable to observe match, and then it kicks you out somehow. That is
Weird.
strange.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try one more time.
One more time, and let me just double check. Are they using EGC mod, Frisian, or are they?
Yeah. Is it again a remake? Like a remake of the remake? Oh, please no. That's the only game I see, and it's been going for... Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. They actually made a remake. Yeah, I'm getting Inception vibes here. Remake within a remake.
Oh my.
Okay. Fail to observe. Okay. What is going on? Can I look at it? No, I cannot look at... It's no longer available. Did they remake the remake?
Okay. I'm relying on you here.
Oh gosh. Oh.
But yeah, as I was saying, Low Elo Legends every weekend Saturday. You get 4 tournament games, and you can win coaching. And you can win coaching from players like Myriad, or Askeladd is our resident admin coach. But in Myriad, it will give coaching to players in Low Elo Legends, and you can also try and play against him if you show up for the War Chief Club. You will lose almost assuredly, because Myriad is really, really good.
Yeah.
But losing against people better than you is a great way to level up. So War Chief Clubs, we run it for Conquerors in kind of, Conq 2 to, the mythical Conq 4s. But basically people who are close to the pro scene or want to play against the pro scene. That's every 2 weeks. We do that as a single elimination bracket right now, but there's some discussion about how we want to change that. And yeah, you get to play against people like Myriad, Valdemar. You get to see people who are just in the second layer of competitive, like Gully Duckle. Who else was there last couple weeks here, Manius?
Yeah, I mean, like, Saz and Myriad are pretty
Creator.
regular. Knock
Yep.
Knock was
Sass
there, I
plays a
believe.
lot.
Gully Deckler's there. Ezra is also one of the
Yep.
regulars here. Our
I think we've seen
German
Ilyona a couple
community.
of times as well.
Iona, yes, that's true. He was there before as well. Scatterbrained, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. Usually, like, a lot of people from like the, let's say, top 100 are part of the War Chief Club. So that is always a blast to cast. So hopefully, okay, we're entering the game. Fingers crossed that it will actually work this time.
That time.
And yeah, it's just so cursed. It's like Frisian Marshes is that one map that we had a couple remakes last time as well, and
Yeah.
now apparently also being a little bit buggy. I mean, I haven't heard anything from the players, so I'm not sure if, like, at least, lag-wise it was playable this time, but yeah, at least with the observer delay, we can keep track on that. Hopefully they will just
Well,
continue playing that.
you know what's a little bit cursed with this? MarineLorD switched from pink to blue.
Ooh.
He betrayed his colors.
Mm. Well, maybe
Now,
pink was the issue all along. They're also adding 2 more colors next patch, so
oh yeah, do we know what? I just read that they were adding colors. Do you know what colors they're adding?
yeah, I had it up. Wait, let me double check. Um,
I was looking through the patch notes earlier this week, and it looks like a very exciting set of patches for the new expansion coming out. What is it? Next Monday? Tuesday?
I
Tuesday, I
think
think.
next Tuesday. It will be magenta and dark green. So
Magenta and dark green.
yeah.
Ooh,
Hmm.
nice. So
Yeah.
for all those people who like to play Nomad Random and want to hide their king, dark green,
dark,
sticking in the forest.
dark green is your way to go. Yeah, that is. I'm not sure how it's gonna be, like, balance wise, because it kind of feels like green sometimes is difficult to spot depending on the map. Um, I mean blue of course also, but like especially green. I had a mate once who he loves to play French, and he always picked green because he was like, well, it's more difficult to see, when I go into a
Oh,
raid. So yeah,
yeah. I tend to pick teal as my default colors, as easy to see, clear to see.
yeah. I mean, I like blue, kind of, obvious choice for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, blue is also like my favorite color anyway. But yeah, even like especially with Mongols, and then I also like to play French, which also has blue color. If I play the Byzantines, I always switch to purple if I can, because I do have
They
class.
do have a nice purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah. Malians in blue is really nice, but in orange they also work really well. So I kind of like to switch that up sometimes as well. So and Delhi in green, of course.
So what I'm hearing is Manius just switches this color according to what the dominant flag is, just to match the civ aesthetics.
Exactly. That is pretty much that is how I when you ask me about meta game, this is my meta game. You know, I don't care about build or I just pick the right color and then it's a good day. So
We've got 30 seconds on our observer delay here,
yeah.
so I think that's nominally promising that they haven't fully crashed.
At least not within the first 5 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So again, more evidence that it was Pink's fault.
No. Yeah, so hopefully it will work this time. I mean, it's been a great series so far, you know. Compared to the last time where MarineLorD was leading 2-1, now it's kind of like the reverse with VortiX actually being up 2-1. And with that, let's jump into that. Also, blue, by the way, works so much better with the banners and all. So let's just pause for a second here. And there we go.
And VortiX has looked really strong in all these games.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost the first game as a French versus Ayyubid, but it really felt like, you know, I wasn't there casting, I was watching you because I was slept in and was late. But it really felt like there was multiple times that he could have ended that game as well. Like it felt like it was in his control until MarineLorD was finally able to break out, get some extra gold, and survive. So, yeah, VortiX has been having a great day so far.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, he definitely had some points where he was, you know, ahead or at least in a good position. Let's pause one more time here just to let the game catch up a little bit. So yeah, definitely wasn't a one-sided match. But other than that, yeah, definitely has a strong day so far. Let's see if we can continue that kind of streak here against the Mongols. I mean, again, MarineLorD is obviously a super good player, and then with the Mongols on Frisian Marshes, also kind of a very strong civilization. So let's hope that yeah, he'll be able to continue holding it against the Mongols. Even though, of course, I love to see Mongols being played. I love to see them win. But let's see. We do have the barracks coming up again, so MarineLorD playing it the same way, except for that he now this time didn't even attempt to go for a dock.
Yeah, he's kind of knows what's up, so he's saving a couple of seconds, skipping off his dock production there. One thing I was going to ask you as a Mongol enjoyer, probably won't be the case this game, but with way Frisian spawns, you often get that your Uvu right next to your gold here, right?
Yeah.
Is there any world where the stone is used for double villager production because you just naturally have to put it there, or is it just that's always going into military for the rest of time?
I personally would. So I personally wouldn't use it for the double production for two reasons at least. One is you want to have it for the military production, of course, because you want to have a strong military presence. And then you're also your eco is not only villagers, it's also gonna be water, you know, so that's one thing. The other thing is that you're actually paying a little bit more for the double production from the villagers than you would in other cases. So usually it would be, you know, if you compare it to the spearmen, for example, you pay 80 resources and then another 80 to have the second one. And with the villagers, so that would be 50 food, and then 50 more stone for the second one, but it's 124. So you're paying, you know, actually a lot more stone for the villager. And so it, to me at least, it doesn't seem as valuable. And so, yeah, for those reasons, I usually wouldn't. But I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. Yeah, it's something I always see. I'm tempted by whenever I random Mongols or something. I'm just like, oh, well, if we did the Uvu, we could make it villager, make a little bit more. But it's really dependent, right? Sometimes in all random you get away with it, but yeah, it is not very cost efficient. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then also again, like you want to have like the double production of your military, and Yeah, I also love the fact that I just proved that I cannot do math on stream when I said it's a little more, and then it's actually like, you know, 74 more.
Yeah. Yeah. We see military wing going up. We kind of expected this from VortiX. Those 2 archers would be able to push off a lot of spearmen. I don't know if 8 spearmen can still get scared off by 2. And VortiX was sneaking a villager around to put docks on. I don't know if... No, I don't think... I think the Khan just found the villager when he was wandering around, and he did not see that the second dock tucked in the corner. So I don't know if MarineLorD is actually going to chase that down. I think he'd feel like he might have intercepted that villager before he got going.
I mean, it kind of depends on if he, like, he might be able to, you know, look at the time and be like, wait a minute, like, that villager must have been doing something all of that time, because he didn't just wander around the map in, you know, in 5 minutes. So it kind of looks like he actually is doing
heading
that.
into the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very good sense, you know, game sense from MarineLorD to figure out there's another pond here, and yeah, lo and behold, there's another dock there as well. So finding a lot of value here for that. Also now moving into the fuel age as well with the deer stones. I mean, obviously the silver tree doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and even if you don't go for the mango dye, the Khan's hunter still is really nice for your archer mass. So the deer stones in general is still a very valuable landmark.
The VortiX is going to be able to reclaim his close spawn, but one downside of having his tucked away that second pawn way in the distance is that it's going to burn down before those archers can get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean the Khan also, I mean obviously he sees those units, so he knows exactly what happened with the, like, even if he hadn't scouted the House of Wisdom.
Full kiting now.
Yeah. And I mean now, to your other point, I mean we have 8 spearmen and their fuel age now with the Khan arrow, you know, the maneuver arrow. You can definitely chase the archers. If it's just 2 archers. So in a straight up fight, MarineLorD could even take it if he wanted to. He knows that the second dog went up again, so he just needs to figure out these other ones. So it's, you know, the classic game of whack-a-mole being played with your opponent, just trying to figure out where he put down the next pawn and where you can attack.
Well, can I interest you in your opponent's pawns as the next spot for the pawns?
Yeah. Oh.
In between this, VortiX sent out another villager and dropped them off on kind of the 3 far pawns for MarineLorD. So I don't think MarineLorD has any idea that that's going on. He's been pretty focused on hunting down the local docks. And I think, sure, he's probably going to burn this other one down here. MarineLorD, or VortiX, just has a barracks. He's just building his archery range now. But I don't think he has any idea that these other 3 pawns are getting fished until he gets his own dock set up.
Yeah, that's a very, very good possibility that he doesn't know about that, or about those. That is true. But I mean, okay, you know, if we take a look here now, we see the arrow being popped, so archers chasing down the archers here. So VortiX actually needs to get some more military. The Dow is gonna be really nice as a defense, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, MarineLorD found the other villager here as well, trying to hide here, but that's gonna be taken out very, very quickly. And now VortiX
told you he needs dark green. He needs dark green.
Yeah, there's where you need a dark green actually, but yeah, not until the next patch. But yeah, I mean, okay, let's take a quick look here at MarineLorD's base. He's heavy on wood right now still, so he's now moving out on the pawns. That will give him a lot of food eco. Then he will also find out the other pawns, and not really heavy on gold right now, so not looking for a fast castle or any of that, but has a pretty sizable eco still already.
Yeah, he's got a good eco. I mean, he still hasn't saturated his ponds. You want your 3 fishing ships for each pond. And he's kind of chopped through that first wood there. Gold's fine, stone's fine. Going into tri-comp. Yeah, pretty safe. I think he's just kind of poking around trying to check to see where the last docks are, burning them down. Meanwhile, on VortiX's side, he's also got triple comp available to him. Huge amount of wood, but like eco-wise, they're still fairly the same. I guess slight edge to VortiX, but that won't last if he gets another dock burnt down.
Yeah, either that or once MarineLorD is able to take the pawns that he wants to, because then it will, at least then it would equalize. And I mean, one thing that also is like part of the equation here is with the raid bounty against the dock. Not a Dow being popped, but there's so many archers that MarineLorD should actually able to snipe that just in time.
Yeah, one thing the Dow was able to do was cut down the spearman torch damage. Right? Archers are not going to be able to burn something down. And now MarineLorD trying to build a dock on top of a dock that's already there. He's in for a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not necessarily an unwelcome surprise, I suppose, because that is closer to his base, so he can actually probably burn that down before he gets met by any other galleys.
Yeah, but it definitely relieves a lot of VortiX's local pressure of, his local docks here, and gives him a chance to actually send his army out. He's moving out to defend these. He's got a couple of horsemen that are going to go a long way with only 3 spears left. 2 archers or enough archers to 2-shot fishing ship, but ooh, another Dow. That's another great way to have a force multiplier here.
I mean, MarineLorD can just move on to the next dock if he wants to, and then I mean, the funny thing is, even though VortiX doesn't have a scout with him here, the docks provide so much vision that he actually still knows what's going on everywhere.
Yeah, and from the fishing ships.
Yeah.
As well. VortiX was a bit pop capped there. These fishing boats take up a lot more extra pop than normal. Or it's not the fishing boats, the Dows. So if you're not used to or prepared for that, you need to work in houses more than you would normally expect. The first Sheik on the field. I kind of like where MarineLorD's sitting at here right now. Once again, pop capped for fishing boats, or for Dows.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's one big benefit that the Mongols don't have, and whenever we talk about Mongols not having any notable eco bonuses, that is one eco bonus. They don't have to build a single house, so they save up a lot of resources and all the idle time and everything that you would have to spend otherwise. So that is kind of nice. So he doesn't run into that issue on VortiX. Yeah, to your point, was pop cap. He's trying to go into the castle age now relatively soon, so he did what he wanted to do with the docks, and now needs to go into the next age. And MarineLorD looks like he wants to keep going with the feudal age, still pretty heavy on wood, but otherwise it's just cleanly spending all the resources that he has.
He's gonna clear off these docks. Doesn't look like VortiX wants to contest it at all. He's pulled all his units back. They're just going to kind of split the rest of the fishing, it looks like, here. I mean, he got some amount of fishing done there. Right? He cleared out most of the pond on each side. Did some random damage with Dows, and there's a demo ship that showed up and immediately exploded on the Kashyyyk. It is a bit interesting to me that VortiX is going up with Ultra Wing here, though. The main bonus of that being the reduced tech costs. So, no blacksmith so far. I guess he just started his blacksmith. So, it'll be interesting to see you also get composite bows in the castle age, which makes your archers extremely strong as Abbasid. So we'll see how he plans to use that culture wing. I think historically speaking, people have considered economic wing as the strongest wing, and to see him avoiding that for so long, it's a bit surprising.
Yeah, it is a little bit surprising, but another surprise is the raid here. The villagers being pulled away. I mean, you can kind of fight them. There's still few village horsemen, but that's gonna cost a few villagers. Four villager kills. That is not bad. MarineLorD didn't have a single tower on the wood line to...
No, he was not ready for that. He has to move his villagers off the deer as well. So, although the worker kills is 19-4, that 19 is all fishing boats from VortiX playing whack-a-mole, and those 4 vill kills are actual, or 5 now, are actual real vills. So, an interesting development here. I think they're still very close economically.
Yeah, they should be pretty close, and I think that MarineLorD also had a couple. I mean, yeah, he also had a couple villager kills, at least the ones that were building the dock. And so that was a couple ones. So in terms of villagers, they're still fairly even, and with Abbasid being on 1 TC, doesn't have any advantage over in that regard. And yeah, composite bows, really strong tech, but at the same time, if you are outnumbered 3-1, could still be an uphill battle. Lancers though, that would...
Yeah, Lancers are what you need here, right? Yeah. They've got basically full armor against the archers right now. So even though you've got 37 archers, that's only 37 damage on a Lancer. And we've got thick stables in production here. VortiX is just going to be pumping these guys.
Kurultai though being added here by MarineLorD, and Kurultai with Archer Mass and then the Khan Arrow is a scary thing. That is really something that you have to respect. And yeah, MarineLorD is also now moving into the superior mobility to get his Kurultai there a little bit quicker. His Uru did run out, so yeah, he went for the second one a little bit ago as well. So yeah, all things considered, doing a really good job here, of course. And with the Kurultai, that is really the game changer here, even against the handful of Lancers, or more than a handful that VortiX has by now.
The Kurultai lets you basically fight an age up in some regards, right? Like, you just get extra damage on your archers, even though they're not upgraded yet. You've got the healing, so you don't have to worry about any of the kind of chip damage that normally happens.
Yeah, I mean, the Kashyyyks, they're just super strong with the Kurultai, the additional healing that provides. And then they really become, they become vampires that really don't want to die that much. Now with the Kashyyyk, the Castle Age coming up, upgrade coming up as well. Archers still Fuel Age, but they're gonna be upgraded fairly soon as well. And yeah, MarineLorD is just pushing VortiX at the moment. Composite bows just now being researched as well by VortiX. They didn't have the gold before, and the numbers are just dropping. Look at how much MarineLorD is basically just hunting VortiX down. Again, just now getting the Castle Age upgrade. Look at these bad boys. I really, by the way, I love the aesthetics of the Mongol Castle Archers. I think they're some of the coolest looking units in the game, I think, like.
Yeah, we don't have a Khan Hunter here yet, but we do have twice the military size. So there is that. VortiX has had to move on to the next gold.
And it's not only, twice the army value, it's also the Kurultai being like another 20% of the damage.
Kurultai is a little bit outside of the main area, so not all these archers are getting it, but these archers are able to pick off villagers now, and yeah, that's a death push.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, just look the back and forth here right now in the last 2 minutes. VortiX really being ahead here with 10 Lancers in VortiX, in MarineLorD's base. and then the age up comes through with the Kurultai and just getting pushed back, losing all the army, and just like that, what a flip of the game here. Really crazy
I
stuff.
think VortiX was really hoping or relying on those Lancers to thin down the archer numbers before we could get a their age up. Once
Yeah.
the archers aged up and had the consent, and there were still 30, 40 of them, it was not really feasible for him to win that fight anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Mongols, also kind of okay wood eco, with just having one gird that can move it around and stuff. Um, and then you have the archer mass with the Kurultai, and that is really really oppressive. So yeah, I was
I mean,
struggling
there were
against
some
that a
good
little
raids
bit.
from VortiX there, but a little bit too late it felt like.
Mm.
They spent a lot of time playing whack-a-mole with various docks.
Good, but yeah, so that equalizes the score again. So MarineLorD with 2 points, VortiX with 2 points, best of 7. So either player needs to have 4 wins under their belt to be able to win the series, win the tournament. So very even stuff so far. I really like the series here. Both players putting out some, high level play, of course. And yeah, great show. And hopefully, since that game was able to continue on, let's hope that everything stays nice and stable, and we're gonna have a good rest of the series here. Hopefully.
So our next maps, we've got Three Little Pigs, Coastal Cliffs, and Dry Arabia remaining, right?
Let me double check. I think that is correct.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
And then there's no form of redraft or anything. It's just the remaining 5 civs. They're gonna get one sniped every time, and that's how we go, right?
I believe that is how it is. I mean, they had drafted 9 civilizations, so I
Yep.
don't think you actually need to have a redraft. Um,
No, I
so
mean there's so many civs available now, which
yeah,
is nice.
yeah, and yeah, so it is gonna be a dry Arabia. Which
Okay.
I actually thought it would have been on Coastal Cliffs when I looked at the civs, but it's gonna be dry Arabia. Malians against Japanese. So
Versus Japan. So this is an interesting matchup. Excuse me. I mean, Japan has just been pretty robust and strong for a while now. They've got a really strong fast castle push. They've also got some strong Dark Age play, which historically Malians have not been a great fan of. They want their pit mine up, and having it being burnt down before you can age up is a little bit annoying. As a Mongol enjoyer, I'm sure you've burnt down many a pit mine.
and as you're saying that, I think there's actually gonna be a crash. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, immediate
Because there was
crash.
a
We
4 minute
got in too quickly.
4:30
Yeah.
of server delay, and then the game started. I was like, oh, hold on a minute, that's fishy. That is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So game going for about 8 seconds, and then one player crashing or both. I'm not sure. Let's quit that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? MarineLorD did switch back to pink, so I mean,
Oh, that was the crime.
that was,
Pink MarineLorD equals crash.
yeah. So he was setting up the lobby, and then he was playing pink. So maybe that is, you shouldn't play pink. That's it.
I guess.
Mm. Well, I mean, I don't like I don't think pink is pleasing to the eyes anyway, so I wouldn't I would pick it anyway, but we'll
My
see.
wife likes purple. Does not like pink that much. She'll
Oh,
take pink as accents to purple sometimes, but
hmm. Yeah. No, I think it's just too
yeah,
bright for me. Same with yellow. I think it's just a tad too bright for me, so I prefer darker colors, like purple, blue is nice, red is okay too. Orange is, on the verge. It's okay. And green is a little bit too light to me, so I really will I'll look forward to the dark green. And then I guess magenta is just the improved pink, I suppose. So we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out once it releases.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
But yeah, back to the matchup. Japan has good Dark Age against Mali, who has historically weak Dark Age and weak exposed Dark Age. And then oftentimes they'll switch into Fast Castle. That being said, Mali does have really good tools versus Japan's units, really. Like, Musafati are actually really good against Japan. The Donzos play really well. Like, they're even Onagabusha historically were an option for Japan, but the one melee defense of the Donzos can really help out with kind of weakening and blunting that. Historically, Mali's been weak to Yumi, to archer masses. They don't have their only way to really tank it is javelins and sofas, right? But
yeah.
the Yumi movement advantage really feels pronounced versus the javelins, and their cheap cost. Yeah, it could go either way. This is an interesting matchup. When I'm playing Mali, I like it because I know how the latter Japan plays. They are just going to rush you. You're just going to build. I like to build like 6 Musafati warriors right off the start. They can chase down and kill any spearmen, and then go do some nuisance afterwards with their stealth abilities. But that's not, I would say, stock play. I think stock play would just be to, fend it off with a tower or something else, or even just use your own spearmen. There's so many options to defend against it because you put so much. There's so much health of buildings that it takes them a long time to actually burn it down. So even though they've burnt down 2 houses, 4 houses, you don't actually need those houses for anything. Your houses are cheaper, and you can just kind of go on with the game to that. So.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I'm always scared of when I play against Japanese with Malians is that they usually open with Mounted Samurai in Castle Age, but then like I had like once or twice the guy doing like a complete flip and just building or producing on a Bogeisha in the back, and then he just overran me. Like I was like having mass Donzo, and then he just overran me with the Honor Bogeisha mass, and I wasn't ready for that. So that is like the unit switches that Japanese can do. They're very versatile there in general. I mean, usually they're not necessarily played that way, but they could. Can be really really oppressive. So I think I would put my cards on Japanese in this matchup. Even though I usually play Malians a little bit more than Japanese, but I would put it on Japanese here. So we'll see. We'll see.
It definitely feels like Mali has tools that are specifically good in this kind of fast castle matchup. Like Mali is one of the civs that cares about castle versus feudal the least because you have access to your crossbow, quote unquote, in the feudal age.
Yeah.
I mean, your crossbow's not as good as a real crossbow, but for that incentive purposes, it's close enough. For what AoE 4 World does say say that Japan is slightly favored in the matchup. So at the Conqueror level.
Well, these guys are Conqueror level, or quite a lot above that actually. So
at the Conqueror 4 level, what does it say here? Japan is very favored. So
yeah,
we'll see if that holds out.
Yeah, that kind of would have been my guess or my impression as well. So we'll figure that out as we move into the game. Swap that banner on screen. There you go. And yeah, so the remake. Apparently there was a crash earlier. VortiX now in the second attempt with the Japanese here in yellow on the left side. Opening with the farmhouse and a Tawara rather, as you do. Tatara is the extra damage, I always confuse those two for some reason. And then MarineLorD on the Malians in pink, playing on the right side. And then of course opening with the first pit mine. I always hate how you usually have like depending on how far away they have to walk, you kind of have like a delay or like an idle time on the villager, because once you build the pit mine, you cannot really select easily to to queue into going for the gold afterwards. It's kind of annoying a little bit, but that's not the end of the world here. So that is the start here, is opening with a seventh house as well, and is then moving into feudal age, just as you do with Malians.
Yeah, he had a few extra on the second tree to start with, and I was wondering if he was doing a really preemptive tower or something, but no, just using a more I don't know if I would call the seven house standard, but like 7 house is a known build. He's also using his villager to harvest that 10 extra gold, so you're not wasting that walk back. Just a lot of nice little optimizations here.
No.
And no early barracks from VortiX. It looks like he's just gonna play it normal and do his fast castle stuff.
Yeah, which is a little surprising to me. Like with the barracks being 75 wood, it really feels nice to go for that early aggression, and your opponent has to respond to that, and especially since it's Malians and they like to spend all the wood that they have on the houses in the pit mine. It just puts them so far behind. Like even if you end up with producing the same amount of spearmen, you still have spent less as the Japanese. So that kind of feels nice. But VortiX doesn't go for that. Instead, he is looking for the fast castle here, with the core stores being built with just 2 villages. So that is a very interesting choice. I mean,
VortiX is getting. I mean, that's definitely a fast castle sign, right? Like it's kind of like. I think we saw a couple weeks ago some of the HREs aging up with only 1 unit or one villager for their feudal age, and then immediately dropping down the castle age once it aged up, because villagers building your landmark aren't aging you up. One thing I was going to call out here though is that VortiX managed to get in front of MarineLorD Scout, so he has the pretty strong advantage in sheep on this map. I think MarineLorD was only able to get about 5 or so, and MarineLorD and VortiX has gotten the rest.
Yeah.
That being said, Mali needs the sheep less than most, but it is something to note if he does have to move out onto the deer, for example, or the berries. That will be a concern later on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, also, again, the thing is, even if you wouldn't need a single sheep, it's still nice to, kind of take it away from your opponent, of course. And so that definitely would be nice. MarineLorD is queuing up the wheelbarrow here as the age up comes through. So the mill is not going to be able to produce cows for 1.5 minutes. So that is going to be...
I suspect he's gonna immediately queue up the double broadaxe as well once he ages. No?
No, he isn't doing that. That's the... I mean, well, as I'm saying that, he doesn't have enough food right now.
No, he has enough food.
Oh, he has, yeah.
So with the 7 house, oh, there's the double broadaxe. He just mistimed or whatever. You can do this even with 6 houses. You can often age up and have enough for wheelbarrow and the double broadaxe almost immediately. And Mali is so incredibly wood hungry in the early stages of the game.
Yeah.
So you really do want that first double broadaxe attack as quickly as you can.
Yeah, especially if you have like... You usually end up with having somewhere between 9 and 12 villagers on wood, and so it definitely becomes valuable.
Try like 15 to 18. Like, you really want to start getting your wood up.
Yeah. No, but like even if you only have 12, like I usually go for 12, and that is enough to go for yeah, immediate pastures, or not pastures, cattle ranch, and then second pit mine and stuff like that. Although that will be a little bit different because that also is gonna receive a change. It's gonna be 125 instead of 100 wood next patch, which isn't a lot, but it's still gonna be, you know, slightly more.
It's gonna be very relevant against people just trying to do naked fast castle like Mali has historically played. For how we've seen Mali played most of this tournament, I think it's been this kind of soft feathering in of cows and ranches, and you see here we got a couple of cows wandering around waiting for a home. The first ranch going down now, but so for playstyles that are built around that, it's not going to be that much of a problem. You know, the extra 25 you can feather in anywhere. But with people who are just like, yeah, I'm just not going to build anything into like a castle with 18 cows, they're going to really feel the impact of that.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, like Malians, they did receive a slight nerf last patch with the Grand Fulani Corral only providing 18 food per minute from each cow instead of 20, and so that was already a slight nerf. But they're still very, very strong, and so having that additional cost, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, it's like you need 7 cattle ranches, each is 25 wood more. You know, you can do the math. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, it does, you know, slow you down just a little bit. Because yeah, it is pretty crazy how strong the Malian eco can be if you just let them cook for a little bit, and that will prevent them from doing that as freely. At the same time, floating gate coming in 7.5 minutes, timing very solid here for VortiX. Very clean timing. Stable already up with the Yorishiro. So we're gonna have, there you go, Mounted Samurai in queue immediately. And MarineLorD right now only has 1 Sofa, so that is not gonna be a good match here against...
2 warrior scouts.
Okay,
so he managed to pick off VortiX's scout. He's gonna be a little bit annoying here. I don't think he's actually gonna be able to do any damage, but you know, he's gonna have eyes on the Mounted Samurai. He's gonna be, you know, chipping at it. This Mounted Samurai can't, like, you can kind of ignore the warrior scouts, but the warrior scouts can just disengage whenever they want. It's not like you're playing versus Sengoku, who have increased move speed. So MarineLorD can kind of harass these Mounted Samurai all he wants, but he's got clear vision. He's got two barracks going down. I don't expect this first samurai to do very much in the way of damage.
Yeah, I mean, taking a little bit of damage from the Donzo here, but shouldn't... I mean, potentially doing some idle time, but other than that, yeah, I don't expect him to be able to do a whole lot here. And that's one of the strengths, of course, of Malians. The game just paused. Okay, let's see what happens here. But yeah, Somalians having a very, you know, defensive position, of course, with the food, and then they only realistically need to defend the gold, the pit mines, and then the wood line. So that's basically 2 points where you need to defend. So with the Donzo should be able to do that just fine. Has 2 barracks here already, so should be able to get that going very, very quickly. And yeah, with all of that passive income, you're gonna be in Castle Age pretty fast as well.
Yeah, your third gold mine here is a really easy one to defend. Like, this is a really nice spawn for Mali. Like if you can, basically if you can defend your first gold mine, that'll naturally defend the next 2.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of where do you end up? Do you end up giving all 5 relics to Japan with their early monks? Are you able to maybe pick off 1 or 2 samurai with a Donzo mass? We see the Yumi, the archer range for Yumi has been coming out, and again, immediate queue into there. So don't see start of production on the Yumis yet. We're still a bit behind on food, but there's a lot of individual cavalry units running around the map, and they're not doing much. They're just running around.
Yeah, I mean the thing was MarineLorD was trying to go for a raid, and so VortiX needed to take one mounted samurai there to defend that, and so a lot of running around here, but not really a whole lot of you know, damage in a sense being done. And Blacksmith now queued up for MarineLorD, so yeah, he's pretty heavily on gold right now, so he can just get all the cows that he needs right now, and still be on track to get to Castle Age. So is he gonna forfeit
part of that
all
knight
of the
running
relics?
MarineLorD was able to kill the monk going for the far relic, and was able to see the start of the Yumi Ashigaru coming through. So he's got his mass here. He's going to pull back his villagers. I suspect it's going to be 4 relics to 1 at the end of the day here. But it'll depend a little bit on how quickly these Yumi Ashigaru get out here. They do have the Yorishiro in them, so they're going to be producing real quick. But honestly, feudal age sofas are pretty, like, they're not as strong against archers as you would expect. That being said, Yumis are weaker for archers, so that's in the advantage of the sofa, but they're more like expensive horsemen than true knights in the feudal age here.
Yeah, it's a weird mix, right? I mean, the Malians don't have horsemen, but instead they have the warrior scouts, which is kind of a mix between a scout and a horseman, and then you have the sofa, which is a mix between a horseman and a knight. And so, in that sense, Malians is a little bit weird to play sometimes, but it's also kind of more difficult to pin them down because of the faster move speed of the sofa. And so they are kind of a knight, but they're faster than knights, so that is really, really nice as well.
One of my favorite upgrades from those actually is the Imperial Age upgrade. That gives the aura of movement speed to everything.
Oh yeah,
I just like my men being able to run around the map as quick as possible.
Yeah, that is so
good.
Skirmish. That is so
and good. 3 mounted samurai into the wood line. Getting, looks like 3 villagers dead here for the cost of 1 samurai.
Yeah, I mean,
MarineLorD is keeping up. Those Donzos tossing their spears, causing so much damage to the cavalry. Just an obnoxious ability, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that is one of the main reasons why I like playing the Malians, is because of the Donzo. It's so much fun to snipe the knights, you know, from a distance, and if the, you know, archers in low numbers are even susceptible to that. I mean, you can, like, with all the Donzos, you can one-shot an archer even. And so that is, like, you can even, like, that's the one spearman unit that kind of can go against archers, you know, as long as the numbers are not too hard in their favor. So that is really
We do have a question from chat on how do you tell apart Donzos and javelins. For the most part, it's kind of how they carry their spears. The javelins carry them overarm for me, but you know, some people in chat also talk about the shields. Once you play with them a little bit, it's not that hard to tell apart. It's relevant. We do have skirmishes going on here, fighting under a tower. VortiX chipping away at the Donzo numbers. We're working on, we've got all of our castle age upgrades already. Down to only 8 Yumi, 9 Yumi. This has just been a bleeding out chase down. MarineLorD has the population advantage in military. But VortiX still has control of the map and has picked up that 5th relic now.
Alright, I mean, that is pretty big. That's a very good advantage that VortiX will have, and I mean, especially the longer the game goes, the more, you know, scarce resources, especially gold, becomes. You have, you know, the solid passive income from the relics for VortiX, and then of course the passive income from the hit mines, and that is That was a very close roll here, and that actually makes that Shinto
It was a
priest.
very close to survive on the Shinto priest.
Man, I mean that probably takes a lot of faith, you know, to survive that situation. I mean, I know they're kind of Buddhists, you know, so they believe in reincarnation and stuff, but he was close to getting reincarnated there, right then and there.
Yeah, with the samurai being down though, VortiX pushes on the main base a little bit. You still don't have imported armor for the sofas though, so they're still on the weaker side. They can't take a good engage. And there you see, samurai just falling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so nice. And I mean, you know, 15 seconds cooldown is, you know, notable, but at the same time, 15 seconds is not that long if you have these hit and run situations, especially if you're playing defensively and you can, you know, take a hit here and there, and then you just circle around your base, and then the ability is ready already, and you can just go at it again. So that is a really fun way to, like, every time I play a defensive, I'm like, these spearmen don't have that. That is unfortunate. So
Mounted samurai into the main base now though. There's a couple of spearmen on the wood line, so that might be enough to chase them off. MarineLorD is taking this opportunity, so he gets a couple of kills here. Yeah, those samurai have to run away. Burns down a couple of houses from VortiX, and full engagement in the main base. The Sofa just finishing imported armor right now, and now they're unkillable by Ashigarus.
yeah, the imported armor is one of the reasons why Sofa in Castle Age becomes really strong. This also will get a slight nerf as well, so the cost will be increased by quite a significant chunk next patch. So it will be a little bit more costly to get.
MarineLorD, or VortiX is desperate, tries to YOLO. Just, oh, the samurai dies. He's been cutting around his main town center. The increased damage from the Japanese town center really paying out there. But did lose a ton of villagers there. He's 9 behind in overall villager count, and still behind on military population overall. So real great timing on MarineLorD there, taking advantage of those samurai being out of position and just causing a lot of damage and nuisance.
I mean, of course, like the military number, they don't necessarily point or paint the right picture here, because the mounted samurai, of course, are one of the most expensive cavalry units that you can get. So the army value is, you know, a little bit closer, but at the same time going way in favor for MarineLorD with his extended fights. And yeah, with that, MarineLorD taking it, playing an extended feudal age with the Malians, which kind of seemed interesting to me. But then, yeah, going into the castle age and with the faster upgrades for the Malians, was able to very quickly retake the map here, taking a lot of good fights, killing a bunch of villagers, and then just overall, yeah, pretty handily winning this.
Like you said, the Donzos can, in those kind of skirmishing spots, can fight with, you know, the archers pretty well. You just kind of run away in 15 damage, or 15 seconds later, chuck. 15 seconds later, chuck. And there's a lot of posturing back and forth. And the Sofas are enough to tank it. So, very good timing on MarineLorD to have his army in a position where he was both defended at base and able to put damage onto VortiX, right? Because, you know, if MarineLorD didn't have 10 spears or so rallied at his base, the 13 mounted samurai would have just destroyed his entire economy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But there was just enough there to stall it out.
I mean, at the same time, the funny thing is with Malians, you can even make, like, if your cowboom is set up, if your pit mines are uninterrupted, you can even make it work with half the villagers. I remember the other day I played a 2v2 and I had like at the end of the day, end of the game, I had 33 villagers, and the game had been going for like 40 minutes, so I lost like 80 villagers, I think, and we still won the game. So
Sounds like you need to put in a couple more town centers there.
I actually did drop another one then, but yeah, it was too late, so it didn't really pay off anymore. But yeah, still won. So a win is a win.
So
I actually didn't intend to play Malians in that game because it wasn't haywire, and I was like AFK for like a second, and then I came back and realized that the game already was starting. And
did you go with the tower landmark, the Sahara Trade Network?
I could have, I guess, but I didn't. And yeah, it was
I
just.
kind of I don't mind Mali on some of those enter the Thunderdome type matchups because you do get the Sahara Trade Network, and because that allows your towers to upgrade without stone.
True.
So it allows you to tower creep those small maps very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the opponents were English and Tughlaq, so that wasn't fun.
Hey, I mean, the javelins get bonus ranged damage versus ranged, even in the towers.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe next time I'll try it. I was just like, oh, that is not exactly how I wanted this to go, so we'll see.
No, that's not what you think of when you first think of. We've got town centers in immediate sight of each other.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. Getting fortress creeped by not fort creep, fort creep by the Tughlaq.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I would recommend going Sahara Trade Network and then following that up with the actual Firma Garrison again, and get the anti-ranged as your first. But soon we'll be able to pick all of them. So Mali getting a lot of changes in these new patches.
Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be quite a few, small patches like here and there. It's not like no massive reworks, but just a little bit here and there. So should be a very, very nice patch coming up. I think most of these patches that I've seen in the latest patches coming up do make sense to me. Like they all seemed very, very reasonable to me. But yeah, so next game.
Nerfs where we need them, and buffs in some of the spots we wanted.
Yeah.
Next game we're waiting on observer delay. Macedonian versus Zushi. Macedonians seem really strong, especially on like coastal cliffs. I mean, Zushi can be really strong on coastal cliffs too. I want to say VortiX takes this one. I have not a lot of justification because MarineLorD's, excellent and has a great civ. But I feel like VortiX on Macedonians is just going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, Macedonians is a very, very strong civilization. Overall, has a very solid win rate on ladder 2 as well. And so it is considered strong both in regular ladder, but also in, top players. I would say Jushi's legacy as well, also pretty strong. They also get a little rework on the meditation gardens next patch, which I'm not fully sure if I understand how that's gonna work. I need to test that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play it to see it. That's definitely one of those ones.
Yeah, I read it like 4 times. So I was like, I'm more confused than before. So, but it should be fun.
I think they're putting a lot of power into the Yang Tower.
Yeah.
Where it'll be a kind of constant unit production, more like a a military academy or Golden Horn Tower.
Yeah.
And you just get a steady stream of units.
Yeah, and I mean, so how I understood the meditation garden, since we still have a minute and 20 seconds to talk, is that it's not more like it's not as much about the passive income that it is right now, but it's rather it kind of, I suppose, works like a supervised production, like the gather resource buildings, that when you drop something off, you kind of get like a little buff. And then once you hit a certain threshold, there you're gonna get a boost of resource or something like that. So it's just gonna be more about that, I suppose, instead of just place it somewhere and then forget about it for the rest of the game. So
yeah, just take your free 100 resources per minute.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, not I wouldn't pretend to to fully understand how that's gonna be played and how it's gonna shift the meta or shift the perspective of how Juice's legacy is gonna be perceived. So we're gonna find that out in the coming weeks.
Yeah. All I know is that imperial officials are busted.
True.
And that they really just carry China and Zushi to, always being a top tier civ.
Yeah. 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 They do.
Because I think they're one of the few the thing with imperial officials that makes them really good is that they actually just make resources out of nothing.
Mhm.
Like HRE is really good with their faster production speed, but the imperial officials just give you 20% more from the same stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, that gold mine that's 4K. Well, actually, it's 4.8K,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
just makes everything go a little bit farther. And then at the end of the game, when you're out of stuff, yeah, just give me gold for everything I'm doing anyways.
Mhm. Yeah. And yeah, with that, we're in the next game. VortiX with the Macedonians on the left side of Coastal Cliffs, playing in yellow. MarineLorD on the other side, of course, playing in pink. With Juicy's Legacy doing, yeah, pretty standard stuff. I mean, with the mill, opening with the village, there's nothing too crazy. Speaking of meditation gardens, I mean, we could just plop it in here in the middle, have gold and berries. That would be an option. On the right side, we have easily wallable stone and wood lines, so that would also be a possibility. But other than that, there's not really, I mean, yeah, not really other great spots for the meditation gardens, I suppose, unless you, no, nah, if
Unless
you,
you want to go crazy and go right into the center of the map.
yeah, that's it, but there's a relic here, so I'm not sure if you can
Yeah,
get it close enough to the gold. But yeah, that would be double
there
stone
might.
gold woodline. That should work.
Yeah, double stone gold. There's a ton of one of the things I also noticed on this map. There's a ton of straggler trees just all over the place in general,
Mhm.
mostly for decoration. But it comes up when it's something like, oh, where do you put down
Mhm.
your tower, right, or your meditation garden?
Yeah.
Picking up 5, 8 extra trees helps out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. But yeah, we're gonna find that out. I mean, Macedonians on the other side, gonna play pretty standardly so far, just a regular house and then opening on gold. So VortiX just playing the regular fast feudal. There's no Dark Age aggression with the Varangian war camp. Just gonna put out, yeah, the Grow Hippodrome in the front, just to have the production out here. Meditation Gardens, yep, just in the
Yeah,
middle.
right in the center.
Should
Nice and
also
safe.
get
Don't take any risks.
two, yeah, getting 2 trees as well, that's not worse. The worst that can be.
Yeah. But I mean, you can't, not against something like Macedonians where they get the free cavalry. It's just too hard to try and put it out in an exposed location for more reward. And like you said, we didn't even see any great locations where you would get a ton of benefit.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is also, like, even if your opponent is not able to burn it down, as long as he stays within that yellow circle, it's still gonna decrease the passive income. And so,
Yep.
even if it's out there and you just put a scout in there and you hit on it, like that alone
Yeah,
is equal damage already. So yeah, you kind of want to have it, if you can, you want to have it somewhere secure where it's just tucked in your base. Providing gold, food, that is everything that you need for the late game. A little bit of wood as well, for good measure. So there's, yeah, nothing really wrong with that.
I don't know if I got that last tree. I'm not seeing wood show up as a tick for it, so
That probably takes a little bit.
I don't know if we had enough trees in there to really count.
It should be, right? I mean, even one. Anyway, we'll see if that UI is gonna change over time. It does say 0 wood, so it kind of recognizes the trees.
Oh, there's one wood per minute now, so
Oh, there you go.
there is a tree there somewhere.
Awesome. One wood per minute. There you go. Every little thing counts, I suppose, and that is, that is a barracks. Every what is that? Every 150 minutes.
Sure, every 2.5 minutes you get 1 barrack. But you know, every little bit helps, especially in the early game here.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. For now, of course, we just have the horsemen here from the Macedonians.
Immediately scouted by MarineLorD, so he's able to keep track of where that... It's not a matter of, is there a horseman coming? It's more a matter of, where's the horseman going so that I can preempt it. And in this case, he's moving on to the boar, so that's important to know that there's a horseman coming here. You've got your spears to defend. And now we're gonna have a little boar skirmish here. You actually, normally you would want the boar to go into the spears, but I think you want to try and keep the spears alive here and have the villagers tank the boar.
Yeah, it's I mean, he kind of had it with both. Like one spearman was tanking it, and now one villager was tanking that as well. And yeah, with the village, you kind of have the garrison slots that you need, because otherwise that would be a very, very hotly contested position, especially you know, the Macedonians. They also technically can go for the Expilatores, which is the +2 against worker units, which by the way, of course, also works against imperial officials because they're also classified as a worker unit. So a horseman can actually be really, really good if you're playing Byzantines or Macedonians again with raiding, if you just get that technology.
We've got 2 questions from chat here.
Yeah.
As I'm watching these horsemen jump in. One, well, why are there fish on this map? Is it just to make the map smaller? Yes, that's exactly what it is. We actually have a variant of this that we made for King of the Rockies 2 years ago, where it's just mountains on the side. And that one can cause some interesting stuff if you zoom in, because you can zoom in underneath the mountains. But yes, it's just to make the map smaller. Stylistically, this is kind of like a dry Arabia, except more condensed. And then the other question was about putting meditation gardens in between the both tree patches and making it a super wood meditation garden. Yeah, two comments to that. One, wood's oftentimes the least valuable resource, particularly in the mid part of the game here. So you're much better off getting a steady stream of trickle of gold, and then food's the most important resource early in the game here. So it would be tempting to get more wood there, but it's going to be hard for it to actually pay off in time, and it's not a resource that you truly want.
Yeah, and also, so I mean, of course there are strategies where you can do that. For example, if you would open with the meditation gardens and then you open with the Jiangnan Tower afterwards, and then you just put out military building after military building, get all these free units, which also there's going to be a little rework next patch. So that would be an option, but that's a lot of investment, and Juicy's Legacy also likes to kind of stay in Tang Dynasty because their landmarks are cheaper in Tang Dynasty, and so going into the Castle Age is a little bit cheaper, and so that's actually one of the reasons why Juicy's Legacy can get one of the fastest, if not the fastest, Castle Age timings because of the cheaper landmarks. And so going into both landmarks would, you know, move you into Song Dynasty. You don't really want that early on. And so there are some niche strategies where you can do that, and I've seen people do it, but it was mostly when they were kind of pressured and they just wanted to drop the meditation garden somewhere. And then they were like, you know what, F this, I'm just gonna put it here, I'm gonna have like 100 wood per minute, and that's gonna be it.
Strategically, Zushi tends to play more like a fast castle civ, or playing like to the individual power of the imperial official and having Zugadus, compared to China, who really tends to play more economically overall and really wants to prioritize their Song Dynasty first.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's why, I mean, yeah, you could do it, but overall it's just much more valuable to have these resources, in general, you know, generally speaking. But yeah, MarineLorD, so, you know, back to the game, yeah, going on the second board here, really, you know, making use of most of the map here as much as possible. VortiX is not going for the fast castle route. Instead, he's going for Varangian guards. So Varangian guards, a couple of archers, and then just the regular horseman stuff that he likes to do as Macedonians, just to keep up, be able to keep up with all of the units that MarineLorD has already on the field. Because if you're going fast castle in that situation as Macedonians, your opponent is just gonna move in, and unless you have a very, very defensive position with the Golden Horn Tower, you're gonna probably die with the feudal age push from your opponent.
MarineLorD has a threatening enough force there that VortiX did need to respect it. You know, 15 Shugenus, 15 spearmen could do a ton of damage, even if you defended or whatever. You're going to lose something, and getting these men-at-arms is just a real nice counter to, I guess, Varangian guards. Real nice counter to Shugenus in general. Those initial set of horsemen just being really frustrating all over the map. It's kind of interesting to see that both of them have built, let's call it proxy bases. They're not truly proxy bases, but building their production fairly far out onto the map to protect the additional food resources. That's not something you normally see. Normally, people like to keep their production close to the base where it's protected. But here, you kind of need to use your production to protect your resources.
I mean, in the case of Macedonians, you can also use the Varangian strongholds once you research the stronghold defensive arrow slits as some kind of, towers without garrison slots, and so having them close to the deer and the berries is definitely not the worst. But now we have a little bit of an engagement here with the Varangian guards on top of the spearmen.
And Varangian guards have 4/4 upgrades. VortiX has been putting all of his silver into melee infantry upgrades. So these Shugenus are going to have a hard time doing anything to them.
Yeah, I mean, they do 1 damage per shot, so it's going to be 3 per volley. So, still doing chip damage, but yeah, it's gonna take a while. At the same time, we do have also the Varangian, the Ridari, the Hippodrome Ridari there. But the number's not really in favor here for VortiX, unfortunately for him. I mean, there's so many Shuganu that with the kiting, MarineLorD actually is able to clean up most of that army here.
But the guards are still chipping things off, right? Like, you're still losing a couple of Shuganu every couple of seconds here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much, like there's not a whole lot of units here, but at the same time, these 5 Varangian guards, they're enough to keep MarineLorD busy. The army value is still very, very even, all things considered. The Ridari is still alive, so as long as you keep that alive, you might be able to heal it up later on. But we have Palace guards as a response, so the feudal age men-at-arms from the Shuganu here, from the Shugen's legacy as well. So kind of
really wanted something to try and hold the line, but they're just getting clubbed down by the Varangian guards, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a couple things, right? You have the rune stones, which are buffing the Varangian guards, and then you also have the berserking ability if you want to use that. And overall,
well, I don't think you want to be using berserking right now against Shuganu.
Not against them right now. That's what I said. Like, if you want, like not in that situation, but technically. And then also the Palace Guard overall has slightly less armor than regular men-at-arms. So it is a little bit faster, but has slightly less armor. It's only 3 health, 3 melee armor compared to the 4 from the Varangian guards. So doing not as well against them.
Shuganu are such a powerful unit. It's going to be really impressive in these large masses here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why you sometimes see these, feudal all-in with Shugen's legacy or Chinese just going for mass Shuganu. Because unless you have a lot of horsemen, there's not really a good, solid answer to that. I mean, of course, the Varangian guard is doing amazing against them because of all their health and damage. And still, slowly but surely, filling the numbers here a little bit.
I mean, 36 times 3 is 108. That's, you know, 2/3 of a Varangian guard, so that's not inconsequential. Like, it'll take 2 volleys to kill a guard, but if they can't hurt you at all in the meantime, that's well worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Does get pushed off his boar, so onto a worse food source for MarineLorD. But I don't know how long that'll last. I think he'll have villagers back on that boar pretty quickly here.
Mm-hmm. And now we have the arrow slits here on the Varangian stronghold, so VortiX can kind of fight around here, and that should be a little bit of a, you know, a good defense here from him.
He's got a little wall of archers of his own, right?
Yeah, that is kind of nice, but yeah, just look at the damage of the Varangian guards being triple shot here by the Shuganu in a way.
Yeah, the Varangian strongholds were enough to hold the line here. I mean, he lost a couple of villagers that were out on the deer, and MarineLorD's gonna get the boar, but this slow Zugunu mass, they're slower than regular archers, is gonna have to migrate all around, and then they're gonna find a golden horn tower protecting, you know, gold and 2 food sources. So VortiX needed the break here, and he from aging up, and I think he's gonna get it.
Yeah, should. I mean, getting the veterancy here for the Varangian guard, so he kind of doubling down on that, not moving into...
Well, he is starting to tech into the cavalry armor with his silver. So he is, you know, you've aged up, you're going to start spamming Radari because they're busted.
Yeah,
but,
I can't wait for the nerf on the Radari next patch, so... yeah, something I was waiting for like 2 months now happening, and finally we're getting that patch. It's early Christmas for any Macedonian haters. But MarineLorD, I mean, he's yeah, I was gonna say that he's also moving into Castle Age, was stabilizing with his gold income and the Mount Blue Academy. Yeah.
VortiX trying to get some damage in with these Varangian guards, but he met mass, and the mass said go away, so he does.
Yeah, now we're also getting the veterancy on the Shuganu, and then we're gonna talk, you know, 41 Castle Age Shuganu, that is something that you kinda need to respect, even though, you know, 6 range armor.
He's still got max armor on them, so
yeah.
They're still only doing 3 damage a shot, but you know, that mass is getting up there. At the boar, Radari choosing to fight. Oh, 2 fights going on now. Oh no, Zunus are actually being retreated. He picked off the spearman. And is pulling back to his base here. MarineLorD has fairly good control over the map. Pushing on resources. VortiX has had to work in some farms. MarineLorD hasn't even had to use his berries at home yet, so definitely a strong advantage here for MarineLorD.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the map control, he sees a lot on the map as well. VortiX is kind of tucked into his base. I mean, it's pretty defensively, so he doesn't really have to worry too much about raids. Just because he sees everything coming in, so there's not gonna be some unexpected units in his wood line or farms. But at the same time, it's still like kind of rough, you know, he's trying to go out here and immediately being met by a Spearman Shuganu. Now we're also adding crossbows into the mix, which, you know, we're talking about the javelin throws done so earlier. I think crossbow Shuganu, they look very similar to each other, so I sometimes have a hard time picking them apart.
Yeah. We fortified the center outpost as well, so that's not going to get easily burnt down by a small mass Radari. what does VortiX need to do? VortiX needs to get some raids in, use his cavalry mass and get some villager kills.
Yeah, but I mean, with the small walls here on the right side, MarineLorD's base is pretty defensive right now, and just look at that scary shooting crossbow mass.
Yeah, I mean, there's 40 unus, 20 crossbows. That's gonna pick off anything. You don't need much of a front line if you can just dive before it gets to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So overall, very nice composition for MarineLorD. I mean, we're now moving massively into the Ridari. Yeah, cataphracts. Not cataphracts. Sorry, mangonels. Yeah, of course, that would be another option. You know, getting some
mangonels, to be honest. I don't think the Ridari are going to be strong enough to hold the line here and push it through. Especially since he's kind of, I don't want to say behind on techs, but you know, sometimes when you see the Macedonians get rolling, they've got, you know, level 4 techs for their cavalry here, and they're far away from that. Oh,
that was close. Oh, ah.
Got one.
Wait,
that's on the edge.
Did he? So he did convert one of the ranking guards, but I think MarineLorD actually killed it as well.
Yeah, he just instantly died. He had, you know, 10 health and just took 3 axes to the face.
Yeah, that was rough. But yeah.
As well.
I mean, the thing also, like, with these extended fights and the kiting, VortiX has a hard time actually putting up the runestones.
Well, it doesn't matter if you got runestones if you're just pushing them in. Like, MarineLorD's out of kiting space. He's had to pull his villagers from the wood line. There's enough just raw health here that they're getting in.
Yeah, I mean, Shuginu going down. We still have 17 crossbows, so the majority of the crossbows are still alive. IO getting into the mix here. Just wanted to grab the taxes.
Down. Quite a few villagers down. That was a real nicely timed push for VortiX. He really opened up a lot of this map there, and you know, we're down to only 28 ranged units for MarineLorD. So like, his main threat is kind of gone. Kill the monk, so wasn't able to get the relics back to the base for MarineLorD. He's got 1 relic, it looks like. Yeah, then 2 halfway to his base, but VortiX is kind of broken out of the entrapment that he's been in.
Yeah, and I mean, what's also really valuable is since you're thinning out the numbers so much, you don't actually need to go into siege necessarily, because this is not as scary looking anymore. And now with the mass archers coming out for VortiX with the Bowmaster, that is gonna be really nice, and that is pretty much countering everything that MarineLorD has right now, with the exception of the Palace Guards that are being added right now. And so overall, like, you know, just 2 minutes ago I was really liking MarineLorD's position, and now it completely flipped, and VortiX's position looks really solid. He has the map control, he has a little bit more vision now as well, because he's in the front of the base, and MarineLorD kinda needs to make it work here with another vulnerable attempt, but that's just gonna buy him a little bit of time.
Does have a pretty good mass of crossbows, so he can kill these armored units pretty quickly, but there's still a lot of health there, and he has to kite every time. He has no front line to hold. So that does eat into your combat efficiency, right? Like,
yeah, if you can't kite, if you can run, you don't have any front line, you're gonna have a hard time. That's for sure.
Trading with range now. This is real bad for MarineLorD.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the archers, they're pretty, you know, inexpensive. You can easily, you know, replace them, but Shuginu and crossbows, they're fairly expensive. Now we're on the villagers as well, getting some more villager kills. We're up to 9 already by now. That was almost the 10th villager going down for MarineLorD. So he's a little bit behind now in villagers.
And he's out of food. He used up his berries at home. The boar in the center is, well, he's only got 5 guys there, and that guy's almost out.
500
and
is
he has
there.
no farms.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah,
Whereas,
he's you know, frantically going on the tier on the right side, but VortiX is camping that. If he sees the IO moving out there, he knows exactly that there must be a resource building over there. So.
Yeah, MarineLorD has to sacrifice his army here as a distraction. I mean, honestly, it is just a distraction, right?
It is a distraction, not a destruction. Yeah.
Well, a destruction one way, just sending people to their death. The MarineLord's losing his entire army.
Yeah, and so another thing is, so MarineLorD was adding the palace guards, but VortiX is getting free crossbows anyway from the Golden Horn Tower, so he's gonna say thank you very much, good sir, and be happy about that.
And now he's got, looks like, basically 3/3 upgrades on all of his units.
Yeah.
So here comes the bonus, the advantage of silver, right? And we're playing the villager running around game. But they can't run because he's also out of gold. Well, I guess he's got, actually has gold posters thing. But again, actually, this is one of the downsides of. Remember when he went on that first boar? He proxied a bunch of his production on the other side.
Yeah.
That's on the complete opposite side of the map now. He doesn't have defender's advantage defending this gold mine.
Yeah, just barely, basically. I mean, it is a narrow map, so it's not as bad, but it's still on the exact opposite side of the map. And VortiX has a better army right now and looks very, very promising. And as I was about to say that, VortiX wins this game, equalizing the score yet again.
GG VortiX. Well played. I really felt like MarineLorD was getting a chokehold there early.
Yeah.
And VortiX just knew the moment that he could punch in and had enough mass to actually like take the fight, push to the base, and cause damage. Because if you misjudge that, right, it's a disaster. If you go in with too few heavily armed units, like let's say you go in with hypothetical numbers. If you go with 10, they're all going to die without dealing any damage. And if you wait too long, MarineLorD's going to have built up a mass of frontline or being able to figure out a way to deal damage or economic bonus to be able to kill it. So like you have to thread that needle of going in with just enough that he has to kite you. He can't just kill all your units, but not giving MarineLorD time to build a front line. So really great timing from VortiX on when to make that push.
Yeah, and I mean it was, you know, it's kind of, you know, it doesn't feel great to keep running your men-at-arms into the opponent's ranged units, but it was really working in VortiX's favor. MarineLorD losing more units, and especially that one fight here around 20 minutes. Really, really brutal fight for MarineLorD, and that was the beginning of the end for him. Before that, it was, you know, you can argue it was kind of even, but at that moment, it was when VortiX was, you know, able to break MarineLorD, and yeah, with that, just winning that game. And I mean, you know, Macedonians, you know, they are strong. What can I say?
They are strong.
So
yeah, that was an interesting game. And also, one of the things I really liked about that game was we saw VortiX going into silver on the using his silver for his defensive armor on infantry. We never see the first production being armor on infantry, right? Like, that just doesn't happen. He ended up using his silver pretty equally across all 3 unit types, and that was a real big surprise.
Yeah, no, and that was really, yeah, that was really cool. I really liked that, you know, that smart move there.
And it did matter. It really did matter.
No, absolutely. And you know, what better end to this tournament than to end on the Epohers map, 3 Little Pigs, and you know,
this has turned out to be a
game.
great map. Like, this has been a map that I've enjoyed watching. There's been lots of tricksy plays here. We'll introduce it to you as we get into the game here, but custom map for the game or for the tournament, and a really fun one.
It is a really fun one, for sure. It is a little bit strange in the sense that there's a little bit less resources on the map, so you kind of you kind of want to, end the game a little bit quicker. And it centers very much around the 3 lanes that you have, divided by the 2 water lanes. And then there's 3 boars on there, so that is going to be a big focal point. In the mid, there's one single big gold vein, so that's going to be another one where you're going to, try to play around. Potentially putting, a keep around there or things like that. And Rus, we've seen it a couple times on that map, and it is very, very strong. I'm not sure if we've seen Jeanne D'Arc before. I think we maybe once.
Yeah. But let's think about it. Jeanne should be good, because she loves the boars. That's free experience for her. So having an extra boar on the map is really good. And oftentimes we've seen really aggressive fights over the boar early. And Jeanne's a very powerful unit in low unit count engagements. If there's only 10 units fighting on a side, Jeanne makes a huge impact.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, I like that matchup. Again, Rus definitely it's a known factor. Rus is a good civilization on that map. But yeah, Jeanne D'Arc with scrappy fights here and there with the boar, as you mentioned, that's free experience right there. Should be really, really cool to watch as well. And then hopefully we're gonna see some, kind of late game shenanigans with transport ships and things like that.
It doesn't even have to be late game; it just has to be mid game.
Or
right?
yeah, like mid-late game. Yeah.
What was the game we saw last weekend? But one player took control of the center lane and had docks on either side, so was able to build 2 transports and instantly transfer his units between any of the fights on 3 lanes he wanted, whereas his opponent had to march everything all around. So what ended up happening was you fight on the far left. Oh, okay, time to leave. Get everything in the transport ship, ship it across, then ship it across. Are immediately fighting on the far right, and your opponent hasn't even gotten out of the lane yet to go defend. It was really cool to see, and very, very strong gameplay for taking the center of the map.
Yeah, that was
going to be a huge.
Definitely fun. Yeah, I don't remember.
I mean, the center of the map is
was
always a powerful position to take, but here it seems even more powerful than normal.
Yeah. So, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's move into the definitely last game of this best of 7. Since we went the distance, all the way here.
Go the distance here.
Both players. Oh, I need to switch that in game as well. So we have the right banner colors. MarineLorD playing the Rus in pink, opening with a double hunting cabin here on the woodline. So that's gonna be very, very solid. And then moving out to the deer immediately, not going to the boar initially, but for the settling kind of for the deer for now. But really nice spawn here, really close around the hunting cabin. On the other side, VortiX playing the Jeanne D'Arc, one of the French variants, also going on the deer here. Kind of as you should. I mean, that is a super nice food source, really close to your base, and yeah, why not take it?
Especially with, you see that lots with the night civs, but just getting that fast food is very important. You see a little bit of trying to poke around and scare the deer, but MarineLorD did a really good job of kind of gathering them close enough to his hunting cabin so that they don't get scattered. Same with VortiX, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I mean, even that is just one tile here. So really nice job here by either players. And yeah, MarineLorD also a little bit ahead in sheep already. He did opt for the left route, while VortiX is going through the middle and then to the right side. And I believe that in the middle there's not too many sheep here. I'm not sure about the sheep distribution. I don't know that well. I don't know the map that well, but it kind of seems to be.
I think VortiX also had a drop off at home a little bit here. There's a bit more sheep sitting at the main town center, so I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just relying on the sheep counter here, and that at least says that MarineLorD has 3 sheep more, so it's 16 to 13. But yeah, I don't know. Very forward school of cavalry here. Of course, Jeanne D'Arc doesn't have the keep influence bonus, but instead they get the consecration. And so they are not as, you know, sim city building like the French do, with trying to fit their production buildings, their stables and their archery ranges around the keep, but instead they can basically place it wherever they want. So very forward. School of Cavalry on the other side.
On the other side, we've got a really good bull port, and then the Kremlin coming down as the landmark.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense for multiple reasons. So, I mean, the vision is insane of the Kremlin. Then, of course, it's a good defensive structure here around the boar. It's also technically securing the sacred the relic here. And then it gives you a little bit easier access to the gold vein. And then if your opponent, which is gonna be Knight Mass, or you know, focusing on Knights, if they're gonna go and try to raid you, you can pull Kremlin, which is they're gonna spawn at the town center. And so that's, yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Golden Gate, of course, also really strong, but I do understand why you would go for the Kremlin in this situation.
On a lane map like this, where you need to control the center, this is a great choice. I also, sneaky little bonus, this hunting cabin picks up a good chunk of trees here, so it's going to have a reasonable income as well. Not, you know, sometimes you just got this hunting cabin like this deer here where it's like, oh yeah, there's one tree. No, it doesn't matter. But here you're going to get, you know, probably 15, 20 trees or something like that.
Probably.
And it's a nice little bonus.
Yeah, that is definitely a really nice bonus. So you take that. That is gonna be really nice. Yeah, 18 sheep. So that is quite solid actually. So you like to see that. We have this trying to be sneaky Jeanne D'Arc moving to the forward.
I gotta check to see if VortiX can actually level up Jeanne right now. Jeanne is still a little bit shy of leveling.
Yeah.
But MarineLorD should be able to see this.
Yeah,
he can see this because the Kremlin has huge vision.
Yeah.
He almost needed to tuck it behind the tower. That being said, just outside of Kremlin range, so it's not like he can actually do anything to disrupt Jeanne.
Yeah, I mean, he's firing away on the tower, but other than that, the Kremlin is not gonna do anything really. But at the same time, I'm not sure if the range, without arrow slits, it shouldn't really stop the boar, right?
Yeah, it's not going to stop the boar until he gets arrow slits, so he's going to need to get some stone on it.
Yeah, I mean, we have the 50. We already have the stone for that. Okay, so VortiX really, you know, planning that out quite meticulously, you could say. Jeanne D'Arc now can be upgraded. We have the Hunter, you know, version as I kind of expected. With the, you know, with the Holy Arrow, that is gonna, Divine Arrow rather, not, yeah, Holy.
Yeah,
really cool tech, you know, you just need to have 2 hits on the villager and then you can snipe it with the 40 damage from the Divine Arrow. So these villagers, yeah, first hit, gonna be in trouble.
One villager already wounded from the boar. This was looking like a great position for MarineLorD, but VortiX knew how to manipulate this, right? I would like slamming down this immediate tower was a really smart choice.
Yeah, now he's just chilling with the knights in that tower, which is really funny to me.
Normally you have spearmen garrisoning the tower rush, not knights.
Well, it's a new meta, folks. You know, Cav is getting nerfed, so it's gonna be used.
Cav's getting nerfed. They only want to use.
Oh boy, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that scout is going down. We also, nice snipe here by the villager. And I mean, Jeanne D'Arc is still, you know, fairly beefy. She can just circle around, she'll heal up, she'll be fine. Pretty cool strat by VortiX here.
But one knight's gonna be able to help out a lot here. MarineLorD's gonna give up that center position.
Yeah, he kind of needs. I mean, he wanted to go on the berries here, but he can't really go for a hunting cabin here either, because there's Jeanne D'Arc there.
I suspect MarineLorD or VortiX might lose Jeanne D'Arc, but like, there's 5 knights here. They just killed off a ton of spears, forced MarineLorD all the way back to his base.
Yeah, and we have the healing now coming in as well, so that's gonna be quite nice. Man, this is a very nice position for VortiX, you know, pushing off your opponent off the deer and the boar in the middle, now even burning down the hunting cabin. That is, I mean, look at this, MarineLorD is forced back into his base. I'm sure that was not what he was expecting to happen in this game.
The Kremlin's a very strong landmark, and the fact that Jeanne was able to sneak around and block the boar, really impressive.
Yeah, now he can circle around. He doesn't have a scout with him, but should be. I mean, but he's gonna find a spearman. That's not what he wanna go for. But yeah, I mean, he's circling around. He knows, okay, here's a deer pack. I'm just gonna chill here for a moment. And at the same time, he has full map control. He can just take the deer as he likes to. And
He sees everything going on. And MarineLorD doesn't have food, right? His berries are so far out of range that John's gonna pick stuff up. He got pushed off the deer. VortiX has his scout guarding the other deer, so he sees this mass going out, and he sees our second pig, the pig of sticks, getting attacked. But we got a bunch of knights coming up behind this. Like this, I don't know if 7 spears is enough to defend against this knight mass, and then you just lose all the villas.
oh, that probably would be the time where you kind of have to forfeit the game. I mean, I'm not sure if MarineLorD actually saw it. I think he was able to see a glimpse, but now they're back in vision, and yeah, immediately dropped in the wooden fortress. You need to have that yesterday, and I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough. Immediate brace here, gonna kill a bunch of. Well, okay, so the thing is, even if we're not winning the fight here as French, it's gonna be fine because we're still taking all of that experience. Oh my goodness. Wow.
There's no way those villagers are going to escape.
Yeah, they can't hide, they can run. This is... What a fiery game and finale to this. Oh my god, I'm flabbergasted. I mean, really well played by both players.
VortiX.
Damn.
And that was such a... Imagine if he didn't get that tower up, right?
Yeah.
If he would have just...
Yeah, the game would be different, that's for sure. That would absolutely play out differently. And the thing is, like, in like later stages, you know, when you're talking about like all the passive gold income with siege going on, horse archers potentially, things like that, Rus is in a good position on this map, but not if you get pushed off of every food resource. And if you go on berries, like I don't know, 20 minutes as Rus, that feels bad. Plus you don't get any gold from that.
Well, we do have a winner's interview coming up here.
Wow.
I see we've got VortiX.
Hello.
Hello, VortiX. And congratulations on a hard-fought series.
Very hard, yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
So I think you guys ended up playing, 10, 11 games at least with all the restarts and having to reset the entire series.
Yeah, biggest series I've ever played, I think. Kind of sad as well. I really feel for MarineLorD because the other series look good for him, but it is what it is.
Looking at the games today, how did you feel going in? Did you feel confident? I mean, you're feeling confident now. You managed to claw it out against one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes when I lose, I feel like the draft has a lot to do. So I decided not to draft like in the last series. I think when I have a good draft and I can find the matchups that I'm comfortable with, I think I'm always confident going into a series. And yeah, the series started pretty well for me with a 2-1 lead. So actually was feeling it today, I guess.
Were there specific draft matchups that you felt like you really got the advantage on in the series?
Well, the Holy Island one, it's kind of funny because we played that one as well before the remake or the rematch or whatever. And I think it's a really good matchup for me. I thought that. Then Golden Horde against Byzantine, I'm not really sure, but I think it should be okay as well for the Golden Horde. Right. Especially if the game goes to the late game. And the other ones were kind of even, I think. Macedonian Sushi is kind of a weird one. Don't think I've practiced it too much, but had a good strategy, I think. I mean, I didn't think I had a draft advantage, but I didn't think I had a disadvantage, and that's more than I can ask for these days.
Yeah, it's very hard to practice the draft and be experienced for it. Was there a game that stood out to you in particular that you felt really showcased something unique or special from your style?
Well, all of them, right? I think they were fully action-packed.
They definitely were.
Yeah, I hope the viewers really enjoyed, because from a player's perspective, I actually really enjoyed those games. We were fighting all the time, almost. I would say the last one, right? The strategy, it was completely improvised, of course. I think I barely practiced JD against Rus, and especially on that situation. And I think from a strategic point of view, it was super good. I had a clear idea the moment I saw the Kremlin, and it worked perfectly. When you improvise something and it works that well, I think it's so satisfying.
It really is. Yeah, going up, we were definitely feared that the Kremlin was going to, dominate the game. But one small tower of Jeanne before she upgraded, and then immediately upgrading afterwards to be there and annoying, was very decisive.
Yeah, I think it was. And also, I don't know if he saw my army working towards the left, because I think he should have more army. So maybe he only sent
he
like
was
a
out
little
of
bit
food
of his
pretty
army.
much though, so he needed that food desperately.
But even if he gets the tower down in time, I think I'm still really ahead on that game. So yeah, pretty
Agreed.
good one for me.
Yeah. So yeah, the great series all around. We've talked about some of the games. We've talked about how you felt like you're getting the draft. How do you feel about the tournament overall? We saw a lot of strong play from different players, and I think we saw Anatan did really well. We saw some new faces doing well in the tournament. How do you feel about the tournament scene going out of this weekend?
Yeah, it was a really good tournament. Also, I'm really happy that I won again, because I won the first one too. So 2 in a row. I guess this is my tournament. Yeah, the tournament is really good. I think the level right now is super high, especially in the top 10. I feel like the top 10 is super competitive. We had some great series. Yeah, I think Anotan went 3-4 against MarineLorD. Lucifer went 2-3 against MarineLorD, so pretty close series. Yeah, really good tournament. I think obviously we had the issues with the servers, which is kind of unfortunate. Even today, I think MarineLorD in some games he had a few spikes at the beginning, so not ideal, but the tournament was great. Also want to thank the organization, because they really made all they could to play this in proper conditions, because the last time it was awful. So yeah, really great tournament, great orga, kind of happy.
Well, great to see you have a good time. What's next in your plan? Just grinding things out, waiting for the next big tournament?
Yeah, I mean next week, or not next week, in like 8 or 9 days, leaving to Serbia for the homestead. So yeah,
Okay.
Gonna try to do well in that one. Gonna try to do well in the EGC that starts a few weeks after that, and then we will see. There's a lot to think about regarding future and AOE4, so we will see. But for now, I'm just focusing on those 2 tournaments, and let's see if I can do as well as in this one.
Well, I hope the best, and I hope you have great tournaments for those. And let's see those drafts continue to be a plus for you instead of a downside.
hopefully.
Manus, anything you wanted to ask VortiX here?
Yeah, I mean, if I may, it's great to have you here. Congratulations from my side as well. That was a really cool series, and I'm really happy to, that the organizers made the decision to have it remade completely, just to have that bad start out of the way, and a very close fought series, like going back to back with the score, really, really fun. 2 things that I want to ask real quickly. So I saw that you had Sengoku in your draft, and I mean, naturally, that's one of the strongest civs, if not the strongest civ right now. What did you plan for it, and why didn't you pick it already?
I mean, I planned to have a free win with it, but MarineLorD was definitely against it, so he was sniping it every single map, like I think you would usually do. I did the same with China. So yeah, it's kind of funny because with this system, you never get to play the best team, right? It's always gonna be sniped. So sadly, because that's kind of sad because I really like Sengoku, and obviously it's really strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully next time I can play.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would have loved to see it being played. Another thing, I don't know if you had the chance to look at the new patch already. You know what's going to change. If you did, do you have any thoughts on that? Are you looking forward to that? Are you excited, or how do you like the state of the game we're in right now in terms of balancing?
I mean, in 1v1, I think the meta is great and the balance, but I understand that some team games players, they kind of don't like the state of cavalry. It feels very strong in team games because of the mobility and stuff, and you know, it doesn't have like a clear super hard counter. Like spearmen, due to mobility, are not like a very big counter. For me, in 1v1, I really like the state right now, but I know some people in team games don't. Regarding the patch, I don't think much will change. I mean, there's some ships that are going to get nerfed a little bit or reworked, especially Sushi. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be a thing. I think it takes the worst part. I think the rework for the gardens is going to kill them a little bit. Probably. The rest, I think it's pretty much the same. Like the change to the TC, 50 stone, I don't think it will matter so much that the meta will change. The spear wall change is great, I think, because now you cannot do the typical fake charge, get the brace out and then charge again. I'm not sure it's gonna mean that the meta is gonna change. I think the meta is gonna be similar. But yeah, good changes. Not very big changes, but good changes nonetheless. Yeah. And not much else. I'm mostly excited to try the new ship.
Yeah, of course. I think most of us are looking forward to the Jeanne Dynasty, so that's gonna be really, really cool. But yeah, thanks again for your time. Thanks for a great tournament that you played, and yeah, best of luck in the future in the Homestead Cup and going above that, beyond that. So yeah, thank you very much, VortiX, and I hope we see you some other time. Take care, man.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely kudos to him. Shout out, of course, to MarineLorD of Hell. I mean, he played a great series as well, and it was very, very close. So that was really cool to see. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, we couldn't have asked for a much better best of 7, I think. That was really, really cool to see. I'm happy.
Good games all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.